And welcome to Major League Baseball International special presentation of the 2022 World Series. Tonight from Minute Maid Park, we're in Houston again. It's Game 2 of the World Series. The Philadelphia Phillies up 1-0 over the Houston Astros. Hi everybody, Dave Fleming, Dan Plesac, great to have you with us. Isn't it amazing? We saw those highlights from Game 1. Crazy first game of this Fall Classic. How in one game, the whole feel of the World Series has changed.
Through 9 outs, through 3 innings, Justin Verlander handcuffed the Philadelphia Phillies. But it's amazing. Rob Thompson managed that game like it was Game 7, and you touched on it, Dave. The total complexion of this World Series seemed like it changed.
Yeah, and it feels like the pressure now has really shut. I mean, the Astros came in as big favorites in this World Series, and now the pressure is on for Houston to get a win tonight.
It is, and if you're a Phillies fan right now, you have to feel good. Their best starter down the stretch, Zach Wheeler, going tonight. So the Phillies, if they can win this one and go home up 2-0, they'll be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, that crowd in Philadelphia is already lathered up, you know that. So here we go. It's Game 2. The Phillies lineup looks very similar, but a couple changes. Schwarber, Hoskins, Real Muto had the big hit in extra innings. Harper, Castellanos, Bohm. Segura moves up. Matt Vierling gets the start against the lefty, and Edmundo Sosa the same. He's at shortstop, batting ninth for the Phillies, and they will face a very tough left-hander with a lot of postseason experience.
Yeah, he does. He's got a 5-pitch mix. He's a hard thrower, has a great sinker. 5 pitches. You look at the one Ross record, 17-6, 201 in the third innings pitched. 4-pitch mix, throws hard. His signature pitch and what he's going to need is that overhand curveball, and that's his pitch. It's bread and butter. When he's landing it successfully, he'll throw it ahead. He'll throw it behind in the counts. A strike thrower. Had a little bit of an up and down postseason last year in 2021, but so far he's been guns a-blazing in the month of October. What does he feature? It's a 5-pitch mix. He throws a sinker about 49% of the time. He's got a curveball he throws about 28% of the time. The cutter and the straight changeup and the four-seamer to go along with it. That brought to you by StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. 5 pitches, he knows how to use all 5 of them.
So Framber Valdez, excellent. Doesn't have a pristine World Series record, has a great postseason record. There is a similarity to Justin Verlander in that regard. Couple starts this playoffs, and man, did he dominate the New York Yankees. Got 25 swings and misses in his start in the American League Championship Series. And the pressure is on that lefty with the roof closed. Beautiful night outside, but the roof is closed again. Game 2 about to get started. The Phillies and the Astros. And we can only hope to have the twists and the turns and the drama of last night's game.
You know, we were talking a little bit before the game this afternoon, Dave, and it's something just tells that you just have the feeling that it's going to be more of a low-scoring game. Wheeler's been so good, and Framber Valdez has been white hot so far for the Astros in October.
So Kyle Schwarber, who's got 3 postseason home runs, led the National League in homers in the regular season. Just waiting for the go sign. Our home plate umpire tonight is Pat Hoberg. He signals play ball. And the first pitch of Game 2 is a called strike. That sinker right on the inside at 94 miles an hour. He works fast. He's got great stuff. He gets a huge amount of ground balls. Schwarber held up. That one rides inside. It's 1-1.
Yeah, it's a smooth 96 miles an hour. One of the things he'll do, he'll use that curveball. He'll throw it a lot to left-handers. It's a pitch you'll see him with 2 strikes. If he's commanding that pitch and commanding it well, be able to hopefully pitch deep into this game, and that's what Dusty Baker's hoping for.
Good luck to the hitters. If the curveball's on, he throws and misses with the sinker low. 2-1. It was on against the Yankees.
You know, the Yankees, there was a lot of swing and miss in that lineup, but I think you have to give a lot of credit to the Astros pitching staff. They took advantage of the Yankees that were free swinging. The thing these Astro pitchers do, they throw a big velo, and they all got good breaking balls, and Framber might have the best curveball of the bunch.
2-1, well off the outside, so he shows an off-speed pitch for the first time. It's 3-1.
You know what's funny with Schwarber, a guy that hit almost 50 home runs this year for the Phillies? He has a pretty good eye. He's just not up there hacking and slashing.
Big overshift on against Schwarber, who likes to pull the ball with power. In a 3-1 count, he hits it right back up the middle. Pena, the shortstop, for out number 1. Well, we sort of mentioned it, Dan, how almost like Justin Verlander. Now, look, it's only 2 World Series starts, but they have not gone that well. Every other round in the playoffs, Framber Valdez has been great. So he'd like to get a quality World Series start under his belt in tonight's game 2.
Yeah, and I think one of the things in the games that he struggled, you look at that ERA of 19, a little bit over 19 in the World Series, gets a little overamped, starts working a little bit too quickly. He's a guy that likes to work quick, but sometimes he'll get in that catch and throw mode. Almost works a little bit too fast. To be a job for Martin Maldonado to try to slow him down, get him into a good smooth tempo.
And that home run number really stands out because Valdez, one of the things he does so well is keep the ball in the ballpark when he's right. 1-0 to Rhys Hoskins, first baseman, second place hitter. There's a strike. Rhys Hoskins, who went on a home run tear, especially in the NLCS. He's got 5 playoff home runs. Another pull hitter with the overshift on. Kind of a half swing there at the sinker. It's 1-2.
Yeah, one of the things that he does, he has such good movement on that fastball. He's thrown a few more 4-seam fastballs this year. He'll like to throw that 2-seamer. It has a lot of run and a lot of sink. You can tell by that swing there from Hoskins. You kind of know a fastball's coming, but it has so much movement, it tied him up.
I mean, we'll probably show that number a couple times tonight. It is amazing how far and away the leader, Framber Valdez, is in ground ball rate. Spike that curveball in the dirt. I mean, Logan Webb gets a ton of ground balls. He's not even close. In the last 20 years, there's only one guy who's had a better single season ground ball rate. That was Derek Lowe. The only one in the last 2 decades than Framber this year. And we were talking to a bunch of the Phillies hitters. You can have the right approach, you can pick the right pitch to swing at and still hit the ball on the ground. Just so hard to elevate against this guy.
I think what makes him so tough to hit right now, there's a lot of velocity in the game, but you look at all the pitchers that are really successful, Justin Verlander being one, Garrett Cole, Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer. They throw 2 fastballs, one that can ride up in the zone and one that can sink. So you have 2 different looks. You can sit on a fastball, but you're not sure which one you're going to get.
2-2. Very high. Full count. Doesn't throw a ton of change-ups. He tried one there.
Yeah, you'll know if his curveball is on. He feels really good about it. He's not afraid to flip a 3-2 breaking ball. I'm not sure if he wants to do that with Real Muto on deck in the first inning. But when he's on, he'll throw that curveball at any time.
3-2 to Hoskins, and that's inside ball 4. So the Phillies have their first base runner of the night. Seven-pitch battle there from Rhys Hoskins. One thing you talked about a lot last night in game 1 was as the game went along, how many long, determined at-bats the Phillies hitters had.
They really made Justin Verlander work. It was amazing. The first 10 hitters, 10 up, 10 down, and it was like the Phillies just flipped the switch on. They stopped chasing breaking balls in the dirt. They were laying off the high fastball. Very few swings and misses in the 4th and 5th inning, and a game that Verlander looked so dominant, they chased him by the 5th.
JT Realmuto takes strike 1. Realmuto looked like the best player on the field last night. 2 huge hits, including the game-winning home run. Made a great throw from his catcher's spot. It's a pretty rare thing. Catchers in the history of the World Series with a game-winning extra-inning home run. Tim McCarver, Carlton Fisk, JT Realmuto. There's the curveball, strike 2. 10th inning last night, 3-2 count against Luis Garcia, and just got enough of it. And that was the difference in the game right there. Oh, 2. Yanked foul. Well, he got another curveball. He was on it.
Pretty well located, though. The only thing Real Muto could do if he could barrel that one was to hit it foul. See Maldonado sitting in that ball almost on the chalk line of the right-handed batter's box. Nearly impossible for JT to keep that ball fair.
Runner at first, one out. Still an 0-2 count to the right-handed hitting Real Muto. Curve for a ball. Such a good pairing of pitcher and defense too, because the Astros, especially on the infield, tremendous defensive team. Their rookie shortstop Jeremy Pena had a great year. To get all those ground balls and then have a team that can make every play behind you.
Yeah, and then they have a catcher, Maldonado, that makes every pitch look a little bit better than it actually is. He does a great job presenting and framing the pitch. That last curveball was in, but he makes it look like it's almost a strike.
1-2, misses high. So some of those fastballs, I don't know whether it's a little extra adrenaline or whatever it is, missing up.
You know, the meeting we had with Dusty Baker earlier this afternoon, you know, we asked him, hey, you know, he's had some issues in the postseason. He just said a little bit overamped, gets a little excited, tries to throw a little bit too hard.
Real Muto goes down swinging on that great curveball, the first strikeout of the night for Valdez.
Well, he has such good spin on that thing. You hear a lot now, the verbiage, spin rate, what is it? But when you spin the ball as much as he does, it appears to be a fastball coming in out of your hand. And one of the things that makes his curveball so lethal, he doesn't cast it up in the air. It kind of starts out on that same plane as his heater. See Real Muto, he's thinking it's fastball, boom, and the bottom falls out of it.
Just a beautiful pitch. Round number 2. So now Bryce Harper, again the DH. He'll be the DH in this World Series. Still just can't throw with the elbow issue that has lingered all year. Off the outside. Pat Hoberg, the umpire, has a reputation as the most accurate balls and strikes umpire in the game. If you just look at the box, the StatCast strike zone, Pat Hoberg usually is extremely accurate. James Hoy, the acting crew chief, Dan Asanya, will be behind the plate in Game 3. He's the overall World Series crew chief, but James Hoy, last night's home plate umpire, out in right field. Right there for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, one of the things that Framber does when he's throwing the ball well, we've seen it, he'll throw that two-seamer that goes down and away to a righty. That one had a little bit of cut action on it. If you're Bryce Harper, you're not sure which one you're going to get, the one that's darting back in or the one that cuts away.
You do have to have some confidence these days. If you throw in that location to Harper, he's been destroying pitches away. A lot of opposite field power. Hits that one softly foul. It's 1-2.
Pretty good back-to-back sequence right there. Went with the 1-0 pitch that cut away. There was a call to strike. Then came back with a two-seam sinker down and in.
One and 2 to Harper. Hoskins runs, and the pitch is driven to left field. Going back on it quickly is Aledmys Diaz. He'll make the catch just short of the warning track. And that's out number 3. Off the bat, I think Bryce Harper thought he had a chance to get that one in the gap.
That looked like a possible double, just kind of hung up in the air.
Instead, Valdez with a scoreless top of the first. Zach Wheeler takes him out when we come back. Game 2 of this 2022 World Series, the 118th World Series from Houston, Texas, which has become a regular host. The Astros in the World Series for the 4th time in the last 6 seasons. Scoreless top of the first, and now the Astros will come up in the bottom half. Altuve, Jeremy Pena, Yordan Alvarez. He's the DH tonight in Game 2. Bregman, Tucker, Yuli Gurriel continues to pile up playoff hits. Diaz out in left field. McCormick in center field. Maldonado, the catcher, batting ninth. against a guy who's got awesome stuff. If he is healthy and right, Zach Wheeler is one of the very best in the game.
Yeah, Dave, and a very explosive fastball. 32 years old, made his mark really with the Mets. Phillies signed him to over $100 million contract via free agency a couple of years ago. He's been their best pitcher down the stretch. Big arm. Last year led the National League in innings pitched. This year 153 innings pitched, 163 strikeouts.
Altuve starts off the game with a line drive base hit. Schwarber's going to cut it off, but Altuve's going to challenge him into second with a slide. It's a leadoff double. And how good must that feel for Jose Altuve?
Yeah, you were wondering how they were going to go about pitching Altuve. He's been kind of in that swing mode the entire postseason. Struggled in the league championship series against the Yankees. Having a difficult time swinging at a lot of pitches outside the zone. Zach Wheeler, first pitch heater that cuts back in over the inner third. Good sign if you're a fan of the Astros. Maybe that'll get Altuve going.
It's the first hard hit for Altuve in the playoffs, which is hard to believe. He had a few hard hit balls for outs. Only 4 hits total before that swing, and all of them had been bloops or little bleeders. Man, could the Astros use a little more of that? So now Jeremy Pena immediately, 1 pitch in. The Astros have a runner in scoring position for their rookie sensation, who has had a great postseason. Had a double in game 1. First pitch to Pena, and that's another hard hit ball, and that's going to put the Astros on the board. 2 pitches in, the Astros have a run. It's 1-0. Not waiting around, are they?
No, Altuve started things off with a double on a fastball. Pena gets a first pitch breaking ball here from Wheeler. You can see Real Muto sitting down and away. This ball kind of hovers on the inner third of the plate. He barrels it up.
Back-to-back pitches, back-to-back doubles, a run, still nobody out. And a runner in scoring position for another guy that the Astros are desperate to get going again. Yordan Alvarez. He goes after that first pitch. 97-mile-an-hour fastball with a wicked swing, but a foul ball.
Yeah, one of the things when Wheeler is on, he has a really explosive fastball. Not many guys pitch down in the zone better than he does. It's kind of in vogue right now to throw that letter-high fastball, but this guy can pitch down in the zone.
0-1. Alvarez, fly ball left field, well hit. Schwarber back in front of that big wall. He'll leap and he can't catch it. It's off the wall. Pena sprinting to third, and he's going to come around and he will score. Alvarez into second. 3 straight doubles for the Astros to start this game. 2-0 Houston.
Well, if you're wondering if the Astros were going to be shook up a little bit after blowing that lead last night with their ace Verlander on the mound. They've sent 3 hitters to the plate. Double by Altuve, double by Pena. And Alvarez hits one high off the wall. Another fastball that's about middle of the plate, up about chest high. Just outside of the reach of Schwarber.
That's a little bit more like a Minute Maid Park special there. Like a miniature version of the Green Monster out there in front of those Crawford boxes. Alex Bregman swings at the first pitch.
That was the first cutter we've seen thrown it. Zach Wheeler's added that into the mix second half of the season. Doesn't throw it a lot.
Just trying to get an out here. Calm things down. 2-0. Still nobody out. That one almost hit Bregman. You know, when Altuve swung at the first pitch and doubled to start the game, I thought maybe the Astros approach is going to be super aggressive. Then I thought, well, it's Altuve. He's always super aggressive. But I think it does feel like that's a little game plan for this Astros team. Bregman on the ground is short. Over to gobbled up. That's Sosa playing shortstop tonight. One away. There's the first out for Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, and if you're Wheeler right now, you can breathe a little bit easier. Every starting pitcher, they wonder when they come out and they take their warm-ups. You hope to get one of those nice, easy innings and kind of ease your way into a start. Altuve swinging on the first pitch with a double. And the Astros just coming out swinging here in game 2.
I mean, Dan, we've had 4 hitters, 2 runs, 3 doubles, an out on 7 pitches.
Making it happen in a hurry are the Astros in game 2.
Talk about the aggressive approach. 7 pitches. The Astros have swung at 6 of them. And now Kyle Tucker, who was the offensive star last night. First multi-home run World Series game in Astros history. And he takes one. Call the ball. Just electrified this place. And Kyle Tucker was the guy who put Houston ahead 5-0. He was doing all the damage. We thought the Astros were on their way to a blowout game 1 win.
Yeah, a little turnaround pirouette move there. A lot of smiles in the 4th inning of that game last night for the Astros.
Tucker pops that one foul off to the left. I tried to get Dusty Baker to bite on my little Barry Bonds pirouette comparison. He really wasn't biting.
I think his reply was, I didn't see it. I don't know, right? Tried to play it off.
I think he saw it. One of the great men in baseball, and a guy who's looking for his first World Series title as a manager. One of the main storylines of this 2022 World Series. Can Dusty get it done? He's done it as a player. Tucker takes that one off the inside. I don't think there's any question Dusty is the greatest manager who's never won a World Series.
And it's hard to argue with that when you look at the success that he's had with the Giants, the Reds, the Nationals.
Cubs had big success.
It's just the list in line just goes on and on and on, and came so close a couple of times.
Everywhere he's gone. He's never gone to a place and not won. That one a little bit high. 3-1 to Kyle Tucker. A lot of playoff appearances, a lot of times getting close. This is his 3rd World Series opportunity as a manager. Oh, so close. Outs away in 2002. Hoping to get all the way to the top here this year. Dangerous spot here for Zach Wheeler. Still only 1 out, 2 runs in. 3-1. Tucker to center field. It's Matt Vierling out there tonight for the Phillies. 2 down. Alvarez is going to test him. Here comes the throw. And the swipe tag attempt by Bohm. He couldn't pick it. Wheeler backs the play up. So Alvarez, very aggressive base running there, tagging up and going to 3rd.
Yeah, normally you don't want to make the first out or the 3rd out of an inning at 3rd base. Trying to pick up that extra 90 feet. Vierling does a good job of planting and making a good throw. Just kind of airmails this one a little bit. 1 hop to Eric Bohm. You see Alvarez there with a pretty good secondary lead. He's got a good read on it. He's going back. Tags up. Might have caught Vierling a little bit flat-footed.
Maybe. Matt Vierling's got a lot of tools. Really good defensive outfielder. That was a risk for Yordan Alvarez. Paid off. There's strike 1 to Yuli Gurriel. That might have been another one of those cutters.
Yeah, that was a good one right there. Zach's trying to find something to just try to get out of this inning, minimize the damage.
Maybe get back to the dugout, take a deep breath. He's still only thrown 13 pitches. Gurriel to short. Sosa. A low throw, and Hoskins can't handle it. And that allows Alvarez to score. Tagging and going from 2nd to 3rd turns out to be a very big play with the error from the Phillies shortstop. Totally unforced error. It's 3-0.
Well, this is what kind of comes along with the Philadelphia Phillies. They're not known as a team that's going to fool you into being a team of Gold Glovers. Not that bad of a throw by Sosa. He has a lot of time with Gurriel running. Does a good job feeling this ball out in front of him. Throws a little bit of a sinker to Hoskins. I'm not even sure if this ball bounced. Yeah, it did. It did short hop. Hoskins.
Well, that really hurts. And you got to give Yordan Alvarez some credit. And it's not an easy play for Hoskins. I think he'd probably say, I could have picked that, helped my shortstop out. But Alvarez, I mean, I thought it was too much of a risk to take. Turns out to be. That's the difference right now in that run.
You know, an extra 90 feet. You hear a lot of that in baseball. Try to pick up 90 feet if you can. Take a chance. It's always easier to take that chance when you're ahead 2-0. That's probably not a smart move if you're down 2-0.
That is a fact. Aledmys Diaz only one hit in the playoffs. Did not lean into that first pitch from Zach Wheeler. What a strange sequence that was last night.
No, that one's outside.
2-0.
Yeah, the pitch count is down for Wheeler, but I guess my concern if I'm Rob Thompson right now, 16 pitches. There haven't been a whole lot of swing and miss. Been a lot of balls on the edges. The passes that the Astros have made, they've barreled just about all of them up.
There's been exactly one swing and miss in this first inning. He's been behind a lot, which is not like him. At least since the first few hitters, when he was throwing one pitch and the at bat was over. And this is the play we were talking about last night. Diaz. I mean, I think rightfully so. He was not given first base. You got to make some kind of effort. There was some dispute about whether that pitch should have been called a strike, and Diaz had to stay at the plate. It was called a ball. But James Hoy made a call that you don't see very often.
Yeah, the crazy part about that bat is he lunged into it and then was just swinging violently after that, right?
It was so weird.
Gets to 3-0, then he was just swinging as soon as the ball came out of the hand.
The next two pitches, I don't think either one was a strike, and yet the game was over. 2-1. Diaz fouls it away. Zach Wheeler's been excellent in these playoffs. Even that game 2 where he gave up the 3 runs, the only game the Phillies lost to Atlanta, still threw the ball real well. Absolutely dominated the Padres in game 1 in the NLCS. Well, this is very much an aberration. His first career World Series start tonight. Diaz strikes out swinging on a fastball in. What a start though for Houston. A pressure game for the Astros. They need to win to avoid going down 0-2 before they go to Philadelphia. They're up 3-0 and a strange play in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and listen, we would miss the Phillies have had some issues at first base. It's not a great throw by Sosa at first, but you take a look at Hoskins there, hits him in the heel of the glove. Normally you would see that glove more wide open to try to go ahead and scoop it. It was a big third run. 2 outs, looked like a routine ground ball to shortstop. Not only you force Zach Wheeler into making some more pitches, but you give the Astros, you kind of gift them their third run.
Yeah, you know, nothing. Rhys Hoskins is a really good player. Edmundo Sosa is a very good defensive shortstop, and he knows he needed to make a better throw. But nothing looks smooth or easy at first base right now.
No, it's an issue, and there have been, you know, some pop-ups that he's had some issues with. Dropped the routine, you know, 6-4-3 double play in this series against the Braves.
Valdez back to work here in the second. Strike 1 to Nick Castellanos, who was a huge part of the Phillies win in game 1. He had a big hit, but that wasn't his biggest play. He saved the game in the bottom of the 9th inning with a sliding catch that got the Phillies to extra innings.
Yeah, Jeremy Pena's had such a brilliant postseason. Looked like this could be a game winner with 2 outs in the 9th. A little floater to right field, and Castellanos comes a long way, sells out for it. It's do or die. He doesn't get to this, it's game over. Terrific play.
Castellanos went after that curveball. It was up, pulled it foul.
Right now, if you're Framber, you need to take advantage of Castellanos. He gets in that swing mode at times. He could throw that breaking ball again and try to bounce it at that back foot of Nick Castellanos.
0-2. Got him with the curveball. Not many hitters' swing mode is more swingy than Nick Castellanos.
No, it's almost like at times he's predetermined he's going to go up there and hack, and Framber Valdez takes advantage of him being overly aggressive. This is a good curveball, tight rotation. Just a straight down 12-6. See Castellanos leaking fastball, and it's not there.
So 1 out, second strikeout for the Astros lefty. Here's Alec Bohm.
No, it's outside.
Bohm was one of those hitters we talked to before the game about the approach against Valdez, and Alec said, you know, frankly, if you have 4 at-bats against him, at least a couple times you're probably going to hit the ball on the ground. So you're trying to hit it hard, see if you can find a hole. Just hit it as hard as you can, and maybe you can sneak one through.
Well, what's been unusual so far is a lot of the fastballs that Framber's thrown have been up in the zone. Normally he has that good two-seamer that dive bombs down in the zone. He's left several. That one there to Bohm, it was pretty much middle.
Just off the inside. I think so far Pat Hoberg pretty true to the scouting report.
Pretty good take there by Bohm. That ball definitely was about a half a ball in the inside part of the plate. It's a hard pitch to lay off with a guy that throws so hard.
Astros very solid defensive team. Peña's been excellent at shortstop in his rookie year. Bohm down the right field line, but he will slice foul. 2-2.
That last pitch, 97 miles an hour from Framber. A little bit amped up. 2 strikes. See if he decides to go to that hard curveball again. The same one he struck out Castellanos with.
Down and in with the curve. I don't know about you, Dan, but I was impressed. Bryson Stott, Alec Bohm, especially there are a lot of Phillies who are playing in their first World Series, but especially the young guys who are here for the first time. I thought they looked like they belonged.
Really good at bats last night. Made Verlander work. That's about as much as you're going to see one of the best pitchers of this generation have to work.
Ball 4. Bohm, another good plate appearance. Takes that curveball for ball 4. Just not looking overwhelmed by the moment.
You kind of wonder about the pitch selection there if you're Framber Valdez. You've got a 3-run lead. You've got the leading hitter up. You have a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Maldonado does a great job putting down the right fingers.
Talking to Gene Segura as Segura stands in. After that first pitch and pulls a foul. It's interesting contrast. The Astros at bats were happening so fast in the first inning. Every Phillies hitter so far, and this is the 7th hitter to come up, has seen at least 4 pitches in his at bat. Foul tip on the high fastball. So now Segura behind in the count 0-2.
Yeah, that's a tough combination. You get the first pitch curveball that you hit foul. Then he chases one upstairs. He runs it up there 96 miles an hour. It's just hard to cover both of those pitches. You have to be ready to get your foot down, get that barrel ready for that fastball.
The emergency dive back into first. Not a lot of steal attempts against Framber Valdez.
Now that quick step off move. Go back, former Giant and Philly Terry Mulholland. That was his big weapon. Holding runners.
I still think of him when I see that move. Strike 3 with the curve. Beauty.
Another look at the curveball right here, and it's a dandy. Little backdoor curveball. It's just so tight to rotation. It appears to be a fastball, and it just has such good spin. You think of the major league average, a little bit over 2,400, and he's about 400 over the league average, 400 RPMs, which that's a lot of spin.
Some of the Astros front office folks were talking about Framber and how they found him. They signed him at age 21, way later than most international kids sign. That ball is hit hard, but foul down the left field line. First pitch that Matt Vierling's ever seen in the World Series, and he had a foul ball home run.
You know, Rob Thompson told us in the meeting this afternoon, Dave, he said he really likes his skill set. He said he runs very well, throws well, and he says he has the kind of power that I think has a chance to be a potential everyday player.
Real tools. He hadn't played a lot in the postseason, but in this series with the left-handed pitching for the Astros, he's going to be in there. Chops that one on the ground up the middle. Altuve right near the bag. Gets the force for out number 3. So another walk, 2 more strikeouts, and no runs for the Astros lefty Framber Valdez. Middle of inning number 2, 3-0 Astros lead. Well, once again, we've seen something that had never happened. This is the 118th World Series, and that there had never been a World Series game that had started with 3 consecutive extra base hits by one team. And they happen on 4 total pitches against Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting. You come out of the bullpen if you're Zach Wheeler, you want to try to ease yourself into a start, see what pitches are working for you, have command of the heater. It wasn't like the Astros gave him a chance to check out anything. How the mound felt, how he felt about Real Muto. They were just up swinging.
I mean, look at that. In the first inning of his 30 total starts this year, he had allowed a combined 4 earned runs. He allowed 2 earned runs and 1 unearned run in the first inning tonight.
I think if he had to do it all over again, first pitch to Altuve may have been somewhat out of the strike zone. Might have done Altuve a favor. He's kind of been in that chase mode now the entire month of October.
Chas McCormick takes one off the outside for ball 1. Got the call. There's the spot I think that you like. When Wheeler can throw that fastball down, he's pretty tough.
Yeah, there aren't many guys in baseball, particularly righties, that can pitch at the knees and get away with it. His ball just has an extra gear. It just kind of has a little turbo gear, getting that shin guard of Real Muto. So what does Zach Wheeler bring in his toolbox? Well, he's got a 5-pitch mix. StatCast powered by Google Cloud. A 4-seam fastball that he'll throw about 41% of the time. Good slider, good sinker, has a good curveball. He'll throw the changeup primarily to lefties. He won't throw it all that often, but you'll know early on if he's getting a lot of swings and misses that he's on. And so far, we haven't seen a whole lot of swing and miss.
He has been throwing harder here in the playoffs, which happens. The adrenaline on the big stage. 2-2. 3-2. You don't just get extra velocity. Usually that extra velocity, you've been talking about spin rate and what that can do for a pitcher. Usually the extra velo gives you a little extra spin. Full count here to McCormick. Fouled away.
You know, every starting pitcher is a little bit different. Zach would qualify definitely as a power type pitcher. Sometimes it takes him a few hitters, maybe an inning or 2 to settle in. But when you have a team like the Astros that are aggressive, free swinging, you got to be a little bit careful. Sometimes throwing too many strikes early on.
McCormick takes ball 4. Zach Wheeler not quite like Aaron Nola, but pretty close, where he does not give up a lot of walks. He walked the leadoff hitter, the 8th place hitter, to start the bottom of the 2nd.
Yeah, and you wonder what the plan is for Rob Thompson. He really kind of played game 1 like it was game 7. You had a guy in Wheeler that they kind of were nursing him along the last couple of weeks of the season. He had some arm issues, kind of a tired, fatigued arm. You just wonder if this is one of those starts where it'd be maybe sooner to go get him than you're going to need him for at least one more start in this series.
So here's Maldonado. The 9th place hitting catcher. That's a strike. It is interesting. I mean, if it were a different pitcher, I would say even you could consider a quick hook and then maybe getting him ready for game 4, something like that. But the way Zach's arm and knee have been, he just hasn't been healthy. I'm not sure that that is really a possibility. Still doesn't mean that they're just going to leave him out there. One thing we saw last night, Aaron Nola managed to at least hang in the game, and he gave his offense a chance to rally, and they did.
You know, one of the things, it's kind of a double-edged sword if you're a manager. Like, you don't want to empty out that bullpen, but then you look at the schedule and you have tomorrow off. You know, you get to a point of the season right now, you'd really like to stay away from Alvarado and Seranthony Dominguez unless, you know, you feel like it's a game that you feel like you can win. I'm not quite sure Rob Thompson will empty out that bullpen like he did in game 1.
Maldonado chase there for strike 3. So Wheeler gets him to go after the curveball. Out number 1. And the arm has been an issue. He missed time late in the year with a forearm strain. Now this is the one that really hurt him in game 5. That ball hit so hard by Josh Bell, it got him right in the knee. And it's still not right. Obviously he can pitch, but
I'm curious to see what they do first pitch to here to Altuve. I have to think they would something go away from that fastball, maybe that cutter or slider down and away.
Altuve way up there, a pop up into shallow right. Segura will make the catch with Castellanos sprinting behind him. No distraction, 2 down.
Went after him with a fastball, 95 miles an hour, in a pitch that normally, when Altuve swinging the bat really well, a pitch that he's going to hammer to right center field. He's such a good bad ball hitter for being a small guy that there isn't a pitch really that he doesn't think he can get the barrel to.
Classic Jose Altuve, 2 at bats, 2 pitches.
Yeah, but that one's pretty much middle.
I don't know, sometimes you used to hear about the true bad ball type hitters, Vlad Guerrero, whoever. Well, maybe the solution is just throw one right down the middle. He hits every other pitch. Here's Pena with 2 down. Ball 1.
That's a great plan until you do it and you throw it down the middle and he hits one in the Crawford boxes, right?
Yeah.
And you go back and you go, what in the world was I thinking about? Just throw it down the middle.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily advocating that plan, but at least it was an old laugh line. The 1-0. Pena liner and caught at short by Sosa. So Wheeler works around that leadoff walk and gets through Altuve and Pena. We go to the 3rd here at Minute Maid Park. 3-0 Astros. Pretty incredible the success the Astros have had in the international market. There's some bedrocks, especially on the pitching side, and not just great players, but they have found some diamonds in the rough, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They've spent wisely. Take a look at $10,000 signing bonus for Framber Valdez and Louis Garcia, $20,000. Tell you what the Astros tried to do. They tried to concentrate on, you know, a lot of the players in Latin America. They want to sign them early at 16, 17 years old, and the Astros tried to get ahead of the game and sign some of the guys that were 18, 19 that may have been passed on. They felt like maybe the finished product when they were in their mid-20s, they'd be mature and they would be able to help at the big league level, and so far their plan has worked.
Not many teams do that. So many of the top international players sign at such a young age. So now Sosa, inning number 3. Phillies trailing 3-0. Long way to go, as we know, after last night. The guy that most people give the bulk of the credit to for those international fines in Houston, front office executive named Oz Ocampo, who's had a distinguished career in player development and scouting and other front office jobs. Just got hired away by the Marlins. He's leaving the Astros. He was a guy who signed Framber Valdez and those others.
And I think of all the major sports, Dave, it's the toughest really to project what you're going to get. Like your international, especially you're looking at 16, 17-year-old kids. You're looking at body types. What are they going to grow into? Arm deliveries, bodies for pitchers, everyday players. And it's just so hard to speculate. I think in basketball and football, particularly when you get to the collegiate level, you know what kind of a player you're going to get. When a guy leaves after a freshman or sophomore year in college basketball, you've got a kind of a better version. You have a better idea of what the player physically is going to be. The same thing with football. But baseball, so many things change in body types from 16, 17 to 21, 22, and it's hard to guess right on everybody.
Curveball taken for a ball. We saw a shot of Yordan Alvarez. Ocampo also found Alvarez, saw him, loved him. Dodgers outbid the Astros for him. So then the Astros a couple of years later said, we really like him, let's trade for him, and they did. That was a pretty good deal. Still 2-2. Sosa battling. Yordan Alvarez had one of the 3 straight doubles to start the game against Zach Wheeler. Astros had 2 runs across in the first 4 pitches of the night for Wheeler.
You know, it's kind of amazing. Most organizations would be still in tears thinking we let Yordan Alvarez get away, but the Dodgers have been so good for so long that it's like, well, okay, all right, you know what, we'll find somebody else. We'll get a free agent, but we'll develop somebody else. It's just amazing what the Dodgers have done the last 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, we'll just sign Freddie Freeman. We're too bad we shouldn't have made that deal. Let's go get Freddie Freeman. All curveballs here to Sosa. 7th pitch of the at bat. He threw a fastball for the first time and he got him.
Yeah, good fastball, 96 miles an hour. He'll kind of lull you to sleep with that overhand curveball that he has, but he has the express, the 4-seamer and the 2-seamer. Sosa just can't catch up to this one. That one had some tailing action away. You can see he swings right underneath it.
One out. 4th strikeout for Framber Valdez. He is, I don't know if he's unusual, but for a guy who gets so many ground balls, he also gets a bunch of strikeouts. Strike 1 to Kyle Schwarber. Two. Was a slow start in the playoffs for Kyle. Had such a great regular season, so many big hits, home runs for the Phillies. He's turned it up though since the championship series started.
There's another look of why Framber's so difficult to hit. So he goes back-to-back curveballs. And he throws that 2-seam fastball that's 97 miles an hour and has that biting action down and in. There are very few lefties. Couple come to mind. Carlos Rodon of the Giants, guys that can overpower you with a heater and also have a good enough breaking ball. It's just so hard to cover both, especially left on left, and he hides the ball so well.
Well, one thing the Phillies continue to do, they're having some longer at bats. Not that it's a picnic when you get in the Astros bullpen. The Astros bullpen is awesome, but they are making Valdez work here. This next pitch will be his 50th of the game. One out into the 3rd.
And one of the things, if you're the Phillies, you get more and more looks you get at that bullpen. I think the easier it is to gauge. You see him for a 2nd or a 3rd time. You get a couple at bats. The first one, you're trying to see a pitch and gauge it, react to how does it sink, how does it run, what's the spin like on the curveball. And after you've seen it on Friday and you see it again on Saturday, you kind of know what to expect. It's a little bit easier to handle.
It's a good point. Might pay off later in the series. Seventh pitch of this at bat, 3-2, and Schwarber pulls one down the right field line toward the corner. That's going to get down for a base hit. Kyle Tucker will play it on a bounce, and Schwarber took the wide turn. He'll go back. Well done by Kyle Tucker. Schwarber, though, has the first hit of the game for the Phillies.
Another fastball from Framber, runs it in on his knuckles. Catches this one right off like the pine tar part of the bat right there. That bat dies a good soldier. So look at what he's doing about 2:30 in the afternoon. Taking some early BP.
He's a worker, Kyle Schwarber. He didn't want to replicate that particular swing. That's why you take early BP. Get it out of your system. Here's Hoskins. Perfect pitch, strike one.
Pretty good at bat for Hoskins in the first. He drew a walk over Valdez. One of the things the Phillies liked later on in the season, Hoskins was doing a much better job trying to get into some favorable counts.
Swings over top that curveball, 0-2. That was a double hit. Remember Hunter Pence in the NLCS against the Cardinals?
Yes.
I think he had a triple hit. Hoskins goes down on the curveball. Two down for JT Realmuto, and Rhys Hoskins talking to himself as he goes back in the dugout.
Another good curveball. You can see Maldonado sitting in, and it just looks like so much like a fastball coming in. You can see Hoskins. He's going out there to get that thing, and it just doesn't get there. Swinging all arms.
Nobody had more strikeouts on the curveball than Framber Valdez in the big leagues this year. On the ground, Realmuto. Bregman charges. Bregman throws. Got it. So the first hit for the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber muscled one out there, but that's all the Phillies got. Midway through 3-0 Astros in game 2. Well, one thing we know, even though it's been all Astros so far, we go to the bottom of the third. Dave Fleming, Dan Plesac, great to have you with us. Game 2 of this 2022 World Series. Phillies have come from behind before in this postseason. They came from way behind in game 1 to take the first game of this World Series in Houston. So we got a long way to go. Zach Wheeler against Yordan Alvarez to start the bottom of the third. Foul back. Alvarez hit the wall ball double his first time up. He looked like he was going to have the postseason of all time when he started against the Mariners in the division series. Just looked like you just couldn't get him out. And he has cooled off quite a bit.
Well, I think what teams have done, the Yankees primarily after that, they've tried to crowd him with a fastball. Soft stuff away, way off the plate. If he wants to swing at it, fine. But make him get the head of the bat out. I think you're playing with danger if you want to try to beat up this guy with fastballs down and away. He's just so strong. Like, you got to be careful with that one right there if you're Zach Wheeler getting it down. Fastball's up in the zone, you can get by, but anything belt to the knees, this guy can barrel it up.
Zach Wheeler behind another hitter, just hasn't had his total sharpness yet. 3-1. That's off the inside, ball 4.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for Wheeler. Hasn't had very many swings and misses, and a guy that's used to being dominant and breezing through some innings. I think part of it started out with the Astros. Rocked his world in the top of the first inning. Altuve swinging at the first pitch, as does Pena. Next thing you know, it's 2-0 just like that.
He's had as many swings and misses in this game as he's had leadoff runners reach base safely. 3. All 3 innings, the Astros got the first guy on.
Yeah, and the Astros really haven't given him a chance, and Zach really hasn't found that one pitch right now that he looks like he can go to if he needs to get a strike.
Bregman, that pitch ran way inside, and he went. According to the first base umpire tonight, that's Trip Gibson.
This fastball, this two-seamer, just gets a tracer ball. It just keeps running in and in. You can see that's kind of an ugly swing, but he does make a pass at it.
Definitely the right call. And it's unusual because Alex Bregman chases less frequently than just about any hitter in the game. You almost never see him swing at a pitch like that one.
You know, to your point, Dave, those last 2 pitches kind of sums up the way it's been for Zach Wheeler. Runs a fastball in that almost hits Bregman. Then he comes back with a breaking ball. It's almost in the left-handed batter's box. So his direction and aim is a little bit off tonight.
Well off the outside. Yeah, some big misses by his standards, especially. I mean, this is a guy who is around the strike zone.
Yeah, and he's starting to show a little bit of frustration after that last pitch. You can see him kind of look down at disgust. Normally he's a guy that can throw that little cutter, that little slider, and get it, at least get a swing at it. Just trying to find something that he can go to get a strike.
2-2. Perfect fastball right on the outside.
Yeah, and sometimes what you hate to do, you turn yourself into a one-pitch pitcher. If you're a good hitting team like the Astros are, they know he's having a difficult time getting that breaking ball over. So all of a sudden you just go up there hunting for one thing, hunting for a fastball. One of the things that Bregman and this Astros team do, they can hit the heater.
The 2-2. Well, off the inside, he jumps back out of the way. Well, this becomes a real big pitch in this game for Zach Wheeler. You got Kyle Tucker on deck. Already a leadoff walk. You're in danger of walking a second straight hitter. Three-two pitch. Alvarez runs, and Bregman hits a ground ball to short. Sosa will go to second. They still have time to get the out there, and then from there, it's an easy double play. 2 down. And even with Alvarez running, they got the lead runner.
Boy, a terrific play by Sosa right there. This was a bullet hit right at him. Not only a good catch and throw, but he gets it to Gene Segura. Segura does a fine job. You can see the pitch here from Wheeler. This ball is barreled up, one hot bullet. Great job by Segura to hang into the bag. Made that double play look routine. You see the great turn here by Segura with some arm strength.
If that's not hit right at Sosa, there's no chance for the Phillies to turn 2. So 2 down. Kyle Tucker takes ball 1.
You know, as a starting pitcher, you're Zach Wheeler, you're looking maybe for a little bit of a break to get you going. The double play ball right there. The ball was barreled up by Bregman. See if he can't find the strike zone here with Tucker.
I think there was a play in last night's game that was similar to that. Jose Altuve, they had Aaron Nola out of whack. Tucker to center field. Plenty of room out there for Vierling. Out number 3. So a little stressful. Just 3 hitters. Wasn't easy for Wheeler, but he gets through it. We go to the 4th, game 2. Astros still lead 3-0.
The Phillies win it. They did it as hard a way as it has ever
been done.
The Phillies are the 1983 National League champs.
He struck him out, and the Philadelphia Phillies have won the National League pennant.
And for the first time since 1993, Philadelphia's going to the World Series.
Victorino is there, and the Phillies are National League champions again. Castellanos has it, and the Phillies have the National League championship, and they're going to play for the world title.
Kind of a checkered history, the Phillies organization over the years. Some great teams, some great characters. You pitched for the Phillies for a couple seasons.
Yeah, wonderful place to play. Fans can be tough at times, but I tell you what, they're dying for that team to win. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to getting to Citizens Bank Park on Monday. It just looks like they call it Bedlam at the bank. I'm looking forward to seeing it firsthand.
Yeah, isn't it interesting how this particular Phillies team, as Bryce Harper stands in, fourth inning, Valdez missed, but that was a swing, according to Lance Barksdale. This particular Phillies team has just totally captivated that great sports town.
Little cutter there. Look at Harper. Not so, he didn't think he swung, but you can see that bat almost crossing home plate. You know, getting back to the Phillies, I think part of it is, Dave, they're an imperfect team, but they're a fun team to watch, right? They kind of defy the odds. They're not a great defensive team. They hit some home runs. They never give up. Like last night, down 5-0. They change managers in the middle of May. They start catching the ball, hitting home runs. Different hero every night. Wheeler and Nola started to pitch well down the stretch. They resurrected that bullpen. Alvarado and Seranthony Dominguez have been throwing the ball great. Different hero every night. They've got a good thing going right now.
And they are never boring. Bryce Harper's had a great postseason after a tough finish to the regular season, trying to get healthy.
Go back to that '93 team that lost to the Blue Jays in the World Series. That a cast of characters: John Kruk and Pete Incaviglia, Darren Dalton, Kurt Schilling. They just had some kind of like just bully players, guys that like just fit the city of Philadelphia, right?
Mitch Williams, Lenny Dykstra,
Terry Mulholland, Danny Jackson, Kevin Stocker at shortstop, Dave Hollins at third base.
Harper steps out. And then those great teams in the mid-2000s, mid-late 2000s, much different personality with Chase Utley and Ryan Howard and Jimmy Rollins. Harper goes down swinging on the curveball. This team's kind of like a blend of both of those. You got some characters, you got some real business-like players, and a lot of star power.
Pretty good sequence of pitches here from Framber Valdez. First pitch, that kind of sweeper, called a strike. Two-seamer down and in. Another two-seamer, back-to-back two-seamers. Goes with one upstairs and finishes off with that good curveball.
So one out. Castellanos on the first pitch to third. Fair ball. Bregman picked out of the dirt by Yuli Gurriel. 2 down.
Yeah, you kind of see a little difference at first base there. Yuli Gurriel made that pick look awful easy. Rhys Hoskins had some difficulty scooping that ball, that throw from Sosa. Watch the throw here by Bregman. Does a good job of getting it. But watch Gurriel, head down, glove wide open. Made this look awful easy.
Really wasn't that different of a play. Much different result. So 2 outs. And I'm sure Valdez happy to have a 1-pitch out. Alec Bohm stands in.
You walk around just about any clubhouse and you talk to middle infielders or third basemen. Their best friend is that first baseman, a guy that can scoop. If you have a good first baseman, it's worth his weight in gold, saving you a lot of errors. Home run production down this year from Gurriel. Had a marvelous year last year, but one thing he does, he shows up every day, posts up every day, and he defends at first base.
Post pitch called a ball. It's 1-1. Phillies have only managed 2 balls out of the infield in this game so far. And Framber Valdez has 11 swings and misses already. Including getting Bryce Harper for the first out here in the fourth. 2 down now. Bohm takes it low. You can see Maldonado with the hand gestures to Valdez. He wants him to just slow down just a little bit. Good curveball.
Yeah, another good deuce right there from Valdez. Pulled the string. About to deliver pitch number 65. This curveball just with such a tight spin and rotation. Hard to pick up.
Two. That is strike 3 called. Got the call at the knees. Bohm didn't like it. That's the 7th strikeout already for Framber Valdez. Real close. Valdez very sharp so far. He's through 4. Middle of the 4th in Houston. 3-0 Astros. Well, since this is game 2 tonight in Houston, how about a flashback to one of the all-time game 2 moments in World Series history? 1978, the Dodgers, the Yankees, 21 years old. Bob Welch, a 9-pitch at bat against Mr. October. All fastballs struck him out, and the Dodgers won game 2.
What an epic moment. Love the reaction, the frustration from Reggie too after the swing, right?
He was not used to that against a 21-year-old rook. Great World Series. Yankees would end up winning that World Series. Game 2 here tonight. The Astros had their own bit of World Series history. 3 straight extra base hits to start the game against Zach Wheeler in the blink of an eye. Phillies were down 2-0. Then the Astros made it 3-0. Gurriel, chopper to short. Sosa has to charge and hurry. Got
him. Nice play by Sosa. Rob Thompson told us yesterday before the game they're really thrilled that they acquired him for the Cardinals. I think he can play all over the place. Playing shortstop tonight. They used him as a defensive replacement at third base. I think he's going to hit. They really think he has a bright future here in Philadelphia.
Definitely was a part of the stabilization of the Phillies defense, which in the first part of the year was just a disaster. Strike 1 swinging. Aledmys Diaz.
Kind of looks like Wheeler's starting to settle in a little bit. Take a look at the pitch count. Well, he's pretty well in order. 48 pitches here going into the 4th innings. The Astros just kind of rocked his world in the 1st inning. 3 consecutive doubles. Hasn't been as sharp as we've seen in most of the month of October. He's kind of scratching and clawing his way through.
And just trying to keep this game close. He knows what kind of offense the Phillies have. Off the end of the bat, 1 hop to short. Sosa, 2 down.
Really good job there by Sosa. He knows with Diaz running, who's not a burner, getting down to first base, has a lot of time, plants his feet, makes a good strong throw. This ball kind of hit off the end of the bat. 1 hopper, you see him take a peek. He knows he has all the time in the world. And a strike over to Hoskins at first base.
So 2 quick outs. Here's the center fielder Chas McCormick. Goes to bunt and bunts it foul. Bohm came charging in like maybe had a chance to dive and catch it. You know, it's interesting to your point. It hasn't been all smooth sailing for Wheeler since the early moments of the game because he's had some command issues. He hadn't given up a hit though since the 4th pitch of the game.
It just goes to show you how good his stuff is. He's been a little bit on the struggle bus.
Up the middle. Okay, there's a hit. Right back up the middle. McCormick with a 2-out single. On the 52nd pitch of the game.
Yeah, what makes him so hard to hit. Take a look at this StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. You've got to get ready to hit that fastball. That fastball looks like it's about belt high, and it's 95 miles an hour. There's the curveball, about 7 feet, a little bit shorter. But it's so hard to cover both. You have about 7 feet to figure out which pitch it is. That's like a blink of an eye.
So now Maldonado, he swings at the first pitch, and a leaping catch by Alec Bohm at third. Helps be 6-5 sometimes. Nice play, and that turns into an 8-pitch inning for Zach Wheeler. Astros get a hit, but they do not score. On to the 5th. Phillies hanging around. 3-0. Astros lead. They give Framber Valdez credit last night against Justin Verlander. This Phillies team was struggling, and then they came to life in the middle innings. Maybe they can do something similar here tonight.
Yeah, one of the things that's a pretty good package right there of all breaking balls. Justin Verlander didn't have that good breaker, but look at this curveball. A little bit different than that Verlander roller last night. You're looking at one of the best left-handed hooks in the game, that tight spin rate. Much different story for Framber. 96, 97 up in the zone, and that yellow hammer right there. He's brought the goods so far.
Now, this has been the best offense in the postseason. The Phillies offense has been the best in the game. And they did make a great adjustment last night as the game went on against Verlander.
Right around this time, 4th, 5th inning, they started to string together some really good at bats. So maybe this is the time the Phillies solve the puzzle known as Framber Valdez.
Right on the inside from Valdez. Strike one to Gene Segura, who, I mean, he's had a few big hits for the Phillies this postseason, but he's struggling right now. On the ground and past the reach of Gurriel. That's sort of a classic Gene Segura swing. Opposite field base hit to start the 5th.
Yeah, this is what the Phillies do. They never feel like they're out of a game. They're a bloop and a blast away. They've got some thunder in this lineup.
I mean, especially this is the bottom part of the order. If they could build a rally here.
Great approach by Gene Segura. Almost a 2-strike approach. Kind of in protective mode right here. Hits a bullet. That's not an easy thing to do to get it by Gurriel.
Well, unlike the Astros, who've had the leadoff man reach base safely in 3 of 4 innings, this is the first time all night the Phillies have had the leadoff hitter reach. Here's Vierling taking down and in.
Well, going back to Vierling's last at bat, remember the first pitch he saw? He hit a bullet that was about 20 feet foul, had home run distance. So he's up there swinging.
I tricked myself into feeling confident just based on that one swing. There's a strike right in there.
He just has such good action on that 2-seam fastball. It's labeled as a sinker, but as a right-hander, that pitch appears to be coming right at your hip, and he brings it back over that inner third.
There's no secret why Matt plays against lefties. Does a lot more damage. He has some real power. Curveball for strike 2.
Well, what makes that curveball so good too, Dave, he throws it in that tough spot, kind of in that same lane as that fastball. First pitch was a good fastball that was on the inner third, and that curveball comes out of that same lane, the same tunnel. Last thing you want to do as a hitter, you don't want to get jammed, so you want to get that bat head out. It makes you vulnerable to that curveball.
The 1-2. Beerling, hard hit, but right to short. Nice play by Pena, and got him double play. That's a beautiful turn. Matt Beerling's the fastest Phillies runner. Two down.
Really nice play here. You can see Pena gets it on the one hop. Nice throw to Altuve. Remember Altuve last year had some issues throwing the ball on the diamond. Does a great job, just as you touched on Dave Beerling. He can get down the line. Good job by Gurriel with that stretch to go out there and get that throw.
They definitely got him. That's a big league double play. And it's huge because now you get the 9th place hitter up with 2 down and the base is empty. Valdez has a chance to get through this inning without having to face that top of the order with all the power.
Yeah, one of the things Gurriel, he's so good at the bag at first base. Look at this stretch. He goes out there to get this. You see a lot of first basemen will be almost standing straight up. Gives you a little half of a step difference between a double play and Beerling beating it out at first.
2-1 to Sosa. All 3 Astros runs in the first inning. Just 2 hits for the Phillies so far, both singles. 2-2.
Really good job by Valdez to get back in the count. You roll up a 2-ball right away and you're thinking, great, get back in the dugout. You fall behind 2-0 and you come right back. Pop 2 fastball, two strikes right back into the strike zone.
Astros fans unhappy because they got up to wave the towels. They don't want time called. Full count, 3-2.
Yeah, that's really the first curveball he's overthrown. Maybe a little bit over anxious. You get the crowd on their feet. You try to make something happen as a pitcher. Your Framber maybe take a step back, gather yourself. He's made some really good pitches tonight.
Kyle Schwarber and his power on deck. 3-2. The pitch. Fouled away again. Schwarber has one of those 2 Phillies hits. Another 3-2. Sosa takes strike 3 called. Right there. That's 8 strikeouts in 5 shutout innings for Framber Valdez, pitching like an ace in the World Series. He and the Astros lead 3-0.
Game number 6 of this 2002 World Series. Home run Sean Dunston. That is crushed deep into the night, and it's 4-0. San Francisco. 5-0 Giants in the 7th. At the home run. 5-3 in the 7th. Smoked into right. It's a 1-run game. And the Anaheim Angels have come all the way back and lead at 6-5. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Well, Dusty Baker was there in a Giants uniform. 5-run lead. Just a handful of outs to go for a world championship in Anaheim. Last night was the first time a team had come from 5 or more behind yet to win a World Series game since then in 20 years.
Yeah, that was a crazy game last night. Justin Verlander retired the first 10 hitters of the game. Astros with a 5-0 lead. Phillies looked like they were lifeless, and all of a sudden they put together a 3-run fourth inning. They tied it in the fifth, and Real Muto sent them home with the winner in the 10th inning with that solo bomb.
Altuve up the middle, base hit. Jose Altuve did not hit that one all that hard, but he's got his second hit of the night. He'll take it. Another Astro leading off an inning, getting on base.
Well, to his MO, he doesn't wait around. He's going to go up there swinging. First pitch of the game, he rang a double off of Zach Wheeler. Doesn't wait around. He's up there swinging.
So a little light at the end of the tunnel for Jose Altuve. Just an absolutely miserable postseason, but he's got 6 hits in his last 4 playoff games, 2 tonight. Starting to look a little bit more like the star who had one of his great years this year in the regular season. Here's Pena. Doubled home the first run back in the first inning.
Yeah, and a good throw there by Zach Wheeler. That was probably called from the bench from Rob Thompson. If you're the Astros right now, you kind of get a pitcher a little bit rattled, gives up that leadoff base hit. You got a guy in Altuve that can run well. Pena handles the bat really well. Don't be surprised if Altuve feels like he gets a good read. He might be off to the races.
Strike 1 to Pena. Another throw over. This time Hoskins has to help Wheeler out. You got JT Realmuto on the Phillies side, which does make the running game a dangerous one for the Phillies opponents. We'll see. Altuve not going. Foul away. Big hack by Pena.
Yeah, a couple of things you can do to slow down the running game. You can hold the ball and throw over, but really the best remedy is get ahead, strike 1. It always puts the fear in Dusty Baker and the base runner at first base, potential for a possible pitch out. So not only holding, but getting strike 1 is the key too.
Oh, 2, third time through here for the top of the Astros lineup tonight against Wheeler. Got him with the curveball. Pena chases for strike 3.
Yeah, that was one of the better curveballs that Zach has been able to feature all night. He's kind of struggled a little bit with his command. As you touched on, after that shaky first inning, he's really kind of settled down. This one has some good depth. You can see Real Muto wants it down and away, and Pena tries to offer at it. Big breaker and a good one.
So here's Alvarez. Runner at first, 1 out. Phillies will overload the right side of the infield against Alvarez. Nobody at third. Sosa stays at short. He's shaded a little bit up the middle.
Yeah, this is a spot right here where I would assume Altuve is going to stay put. He goes ahead and he swipes that bag. You're going to have the base open. More than likely, the Phillies would just go ahead and walk Alvarez.
You see why the Phillies play the defense the way they do. Alvarez has a double and a walk. Hits it right into the defense. Boom. Gets the out at second. Sosa to first. Not in time. That one was picked clean by Hoskins, but just a little late. Alvarez, for a big guy, he does run pretty well.
Yeah, he gets down the line really well. That's a tough double play. You've got a guy that's a normal third baseman, and Bohm feeling that ball almost straight up second base with the new shifting. See, he's playing almost in the hole at second base. Gives Sosa a good throw, and you touched on it, Dave, a tremendous pick at first. And this advantage of being a left-handed hitter getting out of the box. And a really good scoop there by Hoskins.
Dusty Baker's coming out. The crew chief is the right field umpire, so James Hoy's got to run all the way in from right field. Dusty wants the umpires to get together and talk about this.
Yeah, almost like maybe Dusty was thinking maybe it would be a catcher's interference call or something. He's kind of looking towards home plate.
It's possible somebody on that Astros bench or in their video room maybe spotted something. It's possible that Sosa was not on the bag to take that throw. All right, the umpires are coming over to talk to Dusty. See if James Hoy uses the microphone and tells us what's going on. If it's not a review, I don't think he will.
Houston is challenging the out call at second base.
Okay. So that was a lot of talk to get to that point.
You know, Dusty might have a point here. I'm not sure if Sosa, if that foot is still on the bag.
I can't tell.
Yeah, it's so hard, right? It's hard from that angle right there to see if the ball is in the cylinder of that glove and he drags the foot across the bag.
Replay umpires in this World Series: Chad Fairchild and Carlos Torres. And those are the two umps who are taking a look at this. They do have that technology in the replay center where they can take every camera shot, they timestamp them, and they sort of triangulate so you can compare, almost surround with video. What moment is the ball in the glove, and then take a look at every angle at that exact moment. Where was the foot? All right, let's get the call.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is out. Houston will lose one of their challenges.
By a toenail. Maybe Sosa just had the toe of the cleat on the corner of the bag. Maybe.
Yeah, this is a look from the left field bleacher side of it. You can't really tell from this angle if Sosa has the toe on the glove, on the bag, as the ball gets in the glove.
So the call stands. That's big. Would have been first and second, one out for your cleanup hitter. Now runner at first, two down. Bregman really pitching him inside. Wheeler is tonight. Ball one.
You know, one of the things, particularly in this ballpark, Alex Bregman will take that ball in the outer third, particularly a fastball, and try to hook it in those Crawford box seats in left field. You want to make them aware of the ball in. That'll buy you some real estate going away.
Again, well off the inside. Ball two. 3 doubles, 3 runs, faced 7 hitters in the first inning. Since then, only 2 singles, has not allowed a run. He's keeping the Phillies in this game.
Yeah, more importantly, the pitch count down. This will only be his 63rd pitch, so he's had some traffic. He's been in some trouble, but has been able to wiggle out of it.
Bregman to left center field and deep. Schwarber's back, looking up. It is gone. Way up over that wall. Alex Bregman, a 2-run homer, and it's 5-0 Astros. That was a big fly. His third playoff home run. Alex Bregman.
You know, you want to try to run the ball in on Bregman. It's such a fine line because he covers that inner third so much. This one probably a little bit too much in the plate. It was down. He was able to get the barrel to it. Look at the concentration, the head down, the full extension. Look at those arms, that triangle towards the end of the bat.
Just a beautiful swing, and now Wheeler badly outside with 2 straight pitches.
Yeah, this was pretty much a no-doubter.
It was a 2-0 count to Bregman. Now it's a 2-0 count to Kyle Tucker, who hit his 2 home runs yesterday, and that one misses outside. 3-0. Wheeler's stuff is starting to deteriorate. Well, one thing, if you're a Phillies fan, and it was 5-0 last night, and this place was jumping, and it was looking like the Astros couldn't be stopped. That's outside a 4-pitch walk to Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, you kind of wonder if Rob Thompson's going to get somebody up in that bullpen.
I think Andrew Bellatti's just gotten up out there.
You had a guy that's had some issues, a little bit of a tender knee and a little bit of fatigued arm coming down the stretch. They tried to buy him some time to get him fresh for the postseason. It's worked. More than likely, the way this series, we're going to see Wheeler again start another game. If you're Rob Thompson, you want to hope to live to fight another fight with Zach Wheeler.
Here's Gurriel, still 2 down. He wildly swings at a first pitch fastball. I mean, in this ballpark, you were talking about the Crawford boxes. That wall in left field's 19 feet high. The wall in left center, Bregman hit it over that wall, is 25 feet high. So you got to crush one to get it out to that part of the park. That's exactly what he did. On the ground toward third, backhanded by Bone. He's got a long throw to make in the dirt. This time Hoskins picks it. Out number 3. Well, there haven't been many teams that have made multiple comebacks and won games of 4 or more runs in a single postseason. The Yankees did it in '96. We already showed you the Angels. One of those Angels comebacks in 2002. The White Sox did it twice in 2005. Phillies have already done it twice this postseason, including Game 1 of the World Series. Trailed by 5. They trail by 5 again here as we go to inning number 6. Dave Fleming, Dan Plesac. Can they do it again?
They're going to have a difficult time because Framber Valdez, his stuff is on point. He had that curveball we talked about in the open, Dave. If he has that curveball, it opens up the rest of the world for him pitching wise. The curveball's good. It's tight. He's throwing it for strikes. He's getting swings and misses. His stuff is a lot better right now than Verlander's was in Game 1 last night.
And we're moving toward the later innings now. These big hitters for the Phillies, this top of the order, not going to get many more chances the way this game's going. So this feels like a very big inning for the Phillies, at least to get something started. I think that was, to me, a key last night. They got those first 3. Don't have to come all the way back all at once, but they got themselves back in the game. Not going to be easy tonight.
Yeah, a lot of teams, it's that 3rd time through the lineup. It's kind of been an incorporated game. A lot of pitchers are buying into it that 3rd time. You better beware. But Valdez's stuff is good. One of the things he needs to do is keep that upbeat tempo. He's got a good rhythm. He's throwing strikes.
1-1 to Schwarber's been on base with a hit right there.
Look at some strikeouts, and there's 8 of them. Good weather for a snowman. Statcast powered by a Google Cloud. Look at the curveball. 5 punch outs on the curveball, 3 on the sinker, 13 swings and misses. So he's brought his A game in Game 2.
1-2. That one. A ball. Maldonado trying to be a cheerleader even after that one. It would be really interesting to see. We're in the 6th inning. As good as he's been, if the Phillies start to build a rally, how aggressive Dusty Baker would be with his bullpen tonight.
Well, the pitch count at 83. Usually the magic number is about 95, where the warning signs start to go up.
That is off the outside. Not by much.
Yeah, Maldonado does a good job of selling it. He's about as good as there is in the game, and sometimes it'll fool you as a pitcher. I don't know how many times I threw a pitch that I thought was a strike, and you could see this is a good ball and a half off the plate. When you got a guy that can sell it like Maldonado does, see him bring it back in, pulls it back into his chest protector.
That's ball 4. So Kyle Schwarber draws the walk. That's pretty determined plate appearance by Schwarber. Takes some guts to take those pitches.
Well, this is what the Phillies can do. They start to get that thunder in that lineup. Rhys Hoskins with 5 home runs in the postseason so far. Yeah, he can make some errors at first base, but he can run into one.
In a lot of ways, Rhys Hoskins kind of epitomizes this whole Phillies team. It's not necessarily a perfect package, but it sure has been fun to watch in October. Strike 1. Changeup to start the at bat.
We haven't seen very many, but well, if you're Valdez right now, so you've got command of the fastball, you've got the curveball that's been there all night. He's only thrown a handful of changeups, but that was a dandy right there to Hoskins.
Curveball. Fooled him. 0-2.
Yeah, he's kind of had Hoskins right now. Hoskins had a really good at bat in the second inning, Dave. He drew a walk and he saw some pretty good pitches that he laid off of second at bat. Framber had his way with him, kind of steady diet of that curveball.
0-2. Schwarber at first, nobody out. Phillies need base runners. Hoskins, base hit. Beat the defense. Schwarber's going to turn and hold. You're down 5 runs, can't take a risk. So Rhys Hoskins, a 2-strike hit, and now for the first time in the game, the Phillies have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here a meeting on the mound, see what they can do. Maldonado try to calm this pitcher down. Maybe this is time to buy that bullpen some time to get some stretching. Maybe Dusty might want to get on that phone, get somebody warming up before this inning gets away from Valdez.
I know they trust him. His stuff is great. He's pitched great. But last night, it felt like they hung in there with Justin Verlander just a little bit too long, and it cost him. Considering they have a bullpen that has been, by almost every measure, the best in baseball. So now JT Realmuto comes up 0 for 2, and we will see some bullpen activity. Hector Neris, the former Philly, is up in the pen.
Wood came in last night, a third of an inning, a big strikeout of Nick Castellanos.
Realmuto going after that first pitch just like he did in his last at bat, fouled it off.
Yeah, this is part of the order. If you're Dusty right now, you start getting a little bit nervous. You got Harper on the on-deck circle. You'd obviously like to see Framber get through these next couple of hitters. Castellanos got some swing and miss in his arsenal.
2 on, no outs. In the dirt with the curve. Nice block by Maldonado.
You know, it's funny when you watch, the more you watch Realmuto, you know there's a method to the madness behind this guy. Swung a little wildly in his first at bat, but boy, the second and third at bat, a lot more discipline. Pitch count starting to get up too. 90 pitches. This will be the 91st pitch for Framber.
Here's where maybe those longer at bats earlier in the game could start to pay off a little bit. Realmuto, big chopper foul. This was last night. Tie game, 10th inning. To right field, just enough to get it over the wall.
Look at the bat speed, though. Major League average bat speed 86 miles per hour. And Realmuto on that swing 96. So 10 miles an hour above the Major League average equals a bomb to right field.
1-2. Another big chopper foul. And that's how, if you don't quite square it up perfectly, you still got the strength and this bat speed to get one out.
And it also helps. The ball seems to carry a lot better in this ballpark when the roof is closed too.
Want to ask Aaron Boone about that?
Yeah, the exit velo righty hit that one. That series against the Astros, what could have been, maybe should have been.
1-2 the count. Got him with the high fastball. 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, that might have been the biggest out of the game so far for Framber. Realmuto looked like he was on everything that he was throwing. He went upstairs with the express. There aren't very many lefties in the game right now that can do this. That can throw that fastball up in the zone. He's known for that good curveball. I see Realmuto trying to get on top of that. Just swings underneath it.
9th strikeout for the Astros lefty, ties his postseason career high. Struck out Bryce Harper back in the 4th inning. Would love to get number 10 right here against the Phillies superstar. Harper, big chopper to second. Altuve, that's one. Pena to first. Got him, double play. Another great turn by the Astros infield. And what was a promising rally for the Phillies expires with no damage done. And no challenge from that Phillies dugout.
Well, one of the things we touched on, this Astros team can play some defense. Altuve to Pena with the Gurriel. Wow, what a terrific double play.
2 on, nobody out. Realmuto and Harper coming up. No problem for Framber Valdez. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. The uniform looks of the Astros over the years.
Yeah, they've had some classic. I still like that 1980s look with the white, with the yellow and the orange.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the old school. I like that one.
2 guys who wore the Astros uniform as well as anybody. A couple of Hall of Famers. Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell throughout the ceremonial first pitch. Biggio threw to Bagwell, of course. Andrew Bellotti takes over. Zach Wheeler didn't have his best stuff tonight. Gave up the 5 runs, 4 earned. So now Bellotti takes over, his first appearance in this World Series.
Yeah, another guy with a big arm. 70+ strikeouts in 50 innings. His job right now trying to get some outs, maybe to bridge that gap the rest of the bullpen. Hopefully keep it right there. Phillies have a couple of cracks at it left. 3 more bats to try to cut into that Astros 5-0 lead.
Ledmys Diaz pops it up behind shortstop. Bohm gets called off. Sosa was calling him off, waving him off. Get out of here. 1 away. They've done this before.
Yeah, haven't they, right? You got Bagwell at first base. Biggio started his career behind the dish as a catcher, moved to second base, played a little bit of outfield.
And those 2 got a massive ovation when they were introduced. So 1 out. Here's the center fielder McCormick. That slider in the dirt from Andrew Bellotti. McCormick has not made an out in this game. He's got a walk and a hit. He's having a nice playoffs.
Came up big in that league championship series against the Yankees when Altuve and Alvarez and Tucker were struggling. Pena and McCormick kind of picked up the slack.
They had a lot of the big hits. That's a strike. He was jumping out of the way, bailing out of there, and then snapped in for a strike.
One of the good things too, if you're Rob Thompson right now, you get some of these guys into a game in a World Series. You get Bellotti out there to get his feet wet. chances are he's going to be in at least 1 or 2 more of these games. You just hate to get to games like 3 and 4 and you have a reliever, a guy you haven't brought in out of the bullpen yet. You got the nerves, you get the frustration. You come to the ballpark every day as a reliever looking forward and expecting to pitch. As 1 game and 2 game goes on, you get a little anxious.
We talked to a couple of those relievers today on both sides before the game who were thinking they had a chance to get in last night, didn't get in. Two and one.
You know, the amazing part of that too, in the month of October, you can be one of those guys that's not in that circle of trust, one of those guys that's on the fringes, and all of a sudden you find it 1 or 2 outings, you pitch yourself right into high leverage. It's one of the cool things about pitching into the bullpen. It can be a lonely place to be when things aren't going well, but not a better place to be when you're throwing the ball really well and you feel like you're going to get into a game and do some damage.
The 2-2 up the middle, right into the defense. That's right where Segura was playing. 2 down. And up comes the catcher Maldonado. Bellotti is a cool story. I mean, it took him a long time. He was drafted all the way back in 2009. He's 31 years old. Got a little taste of big league ball in 2015 and didn't appear in a big league game again for 6 years.
It's about perseverance, and the path to the big leagues for some guys, it's a long and winding road. But we've seen, I think more than ever the last couple of seasons, Dave, if you can pitch and you can throw strikes, we've seen guys come out of independent ball. You know, the game is much more open to trying it and not being afraid to give guys opportunities, particularly in the bullpen where we see so much shuffling of arms in and out and a rotation of guys at bullpen usage.
Well, he looks good so far. That was a good slider to start the at-bat for Maldonado. 5-0 Astros. Another good slider. What a big sequence it was in the top of this inning. 2-1, nobody out. You got Real Muto and Harper lined up, and the Phillies are thinking, as they've done so many times in the postseason, here we go.
Had a great at bat by Schwarber, draws the walk. Reese Hoskins with a base hit, and all of a sudden it looks like Phillies are in a spot to make some damage. A big strikeout of Real Muto, and he touched on it, that 4-6-3 double play.
Here's the 0-2. Ball. And Hector Neris warming up in the bullpen in the midst of the top of the 6th. Right now the bullpen's pretty quiet for the Astros. I think Valdez has earned the right to pitch in the 7th. Maldonado strikes out swinging on that slider. So Andrew Bellotti's first World Series experience, a positive one, retires the side in order. We go to the 7th. 5-0 Astros lead.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
As called by the great Harry Callis on the Phillies radio broadcast, the 2008 World Championship. Phillies trying to duplicate that feat here in 2022.
Yeah, I have to confess, I was traded to the Phillies from the Toronto Blue Jays in 2002, and I got a big kick. One of the first games I pitched coming into after the inning was over, I wanted to hear Harry Callis call an inning that I pitched. I thought it was really cool.
Well, I mean, Harry meant to that city what Vin Scully meant to Los Angeles, what so many other voices of the game have meant to their franchises and cities. We'll be in Philly for Game 3 on Monday. Tomorrow, the travel day, the off day. Castellanos against Valdez. The starter's still in, and you and I can't wait. I mean, this atmosphere here is great. Astros fans have been spoiled. They're used to being in the World Series. They bring great energy. The Phillies fans have been incredible.
And I tell you what, going back, we were driving to the ballpark this afternoon, and I think you have to really give Rob Thompson a lot of credit. He played that Game 1 like it was Game 7, that you just assume maybe you don't win Game 1 and Game 2, hey, we'll figure out a way to beat Framber Valdez. We beat Verlander. They've run into a tough customer, and that guy that you're looking at right now gets a lot of credit. Maneuvered that bullpen, brought Alvarado in the game earlier, and it's brought him in all year. They went to David Robertson, Sir Anthony Dominguez, left Castellanos in right field. He made a great play. Pulled all the right buttons, all the right strings last night.
Pushed some buttons, pulled some strings.
Whatever it is.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
And nothing went wrong.
Ball no.
In the dirt, Castellanos lays off. So it's 2-2. This next pitch will be number 99 for Framber Valdez. Rafael Montero has replaced Neris in the Astros bullpen. He did a great job last night in Game 1. I mean, the Astros bullpen essentially matched what the Phillies did until the one swing by Real Muto on the ground to third, but foul.
I found it in the managers meeting this afternoon with Rob Thompson. He was asked, have you discussed with your guys different roles? And he said, yeah, we told them all to be ready. But he said, to be honest with you, that's the earliest I've ever brought Alvarado into a game, and he was probably a little bit surprised himself when he was up to warm up.
Connor Brogdon is the pitcher warming up in the Phillies bullpen. Big swing by Castellanos on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Valdez still throwing hard. But if this score holds up, both teams can leave the ballpark tonight and head to Philadelphia feeling good in different ways. Astros can feel like, okay, got our feet under us, played like the team we know we are. Phillies can say, hey, we got that split, we're going home, where they have looked so great all postseason in front of their home fans. In the dirt, 3-2.
Pretty good take there by Castellanos, who's not known for taking very many pitches. That's a tough pitch to lay off. Pitch number 101 from Framber, a good curveball down and in. We've seen a lot of the Phillies hitters chase this one. Only thing is, this one started off a little bit too far inside and down. See Maldonado trying to pump this pitcher up.
Yeah, you could hear Maldonado kind of yelling out at Valdez, let's go. 3-2 pitch. Castellanos line drive into left center field. That's going to be a hit, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. McCormick's going to play the carom. Castellanos into second with a leadoff double.
That might be the end of the road for Framber. 6+ innings. We've got some activity in that bullpen right now. Pitch count at 102.
Well, we'll see. Everybody looking in that direction, but at least for now, well, now Maldonado's going out.
This is the old buy some time to let your reliever get some tosses in to make sure he's ready.
All right, now the home plate umpire, Pat Hoberg's going to break up the meeting. Dusty Baker is staying right where he is. He's going to give Framber Valdez at least one more hitter, Alec Bohm. Now Bohm, I think, has had some of the best at bats of the game against Valdez. He's seen the ball pretty well. Drew a walk, had a long at bat, and struck out looking on a very close pitch.
One of the things the Astros have tried to do so far in this series, they have Bohm with those long arms. They try to crowd him with fastballs in. Everything in, trying to make him get those arms, try to tie him up inside. They don't want to allow him to get those arms extended.
Bohm had a big hit in the comeback last night in Game 1. Phillies were down 5-0. The comeback started earlier last night. Same score here in Game 2. Bohm, hard hit up the middle. Pena's got it. He throws out Bohm. On the play, Castellanos goes to third. Astros will definitely make that trade at this point in the game.
Yeah, that's just for a little bit of a split second there. It looked like Pena got that ground ball, thought about going to third.
Now Dusty Baker comes out, and this is going to be a big, well-earned ovation for Framber Valdez. What a World Series performance by him.
Well, talking about coming up big, you lose Game 1 when you've got your ace Verlander going, and he stepped up. A lot of pressure on the Astros. They could ill afford to fall behind and lose this Game 2, and Framber sure did his part. 6+ and scoreless baseball.
So Valdez out, Montero coming in. 5-0 Astros in the 7th. We'll be back right after this. Well, the final out for the Astros left-handed Framber Valdez, and it was a ground out. A lot of swing and miss though tonight, Dan. The curveball was working, the sinker was working, and this young ace pitched beautifully here in Game 2 of the World Series.
Boy, last year he was a little rocky in the World Series, but stepped up big when the Astros needed him most. 6 1/3 so far. Runner on third base, his responsibility, but certainly held up his end of the bargain. And they go to that powerhouse bullpen. Montero, the first guy out of the bullpen. Look at the strikeouts to walks. 73 punch-outs, 23 walks, and 68 in the 3rd inning. Another guy with a big arm and a good breaking ball to go along with it.
This wipeout Astros bullpen. Valdez wants to watch some of the highlights of his outing. Segura to left field and pretty well hit. Diaz all the way back kind of into that triangle, has room to make the catch. Castellanos is going to tag and he'll score. So there's the first run of the night for the Phillies on a Gene Segura sacrifice fly that if he pulled it just a few feet farther to the left might have been a 2-run homer.
Yeah, and that's one time if you're Dusty Baker and the Astros right now, you'll certainly trade a run for an out right there. Stay away from that big inning. Segura does a good job trying to get that runner in from third base.
So Castellanos leadoff double. The Phillies are on the board. It's just the 1 run. Gene Segura though, solid contact against Montero. So now the Phillies are going to send a pinch hitter for Matt Vierling. It'll be the left-handed hitting Nick Maton. Nick's brother Phil is hurt, but is a member of the Astros. It's not quite the Nola duel in the National League Championship Series, but the Maton family is heavily invested in this World Series, and the only reason it isn't is because Phil's not on the active roster.
They had a chance to face each other too in the regular season. Nick with a base hit, and his brother was frustrated on the mound too. You can tell by the look of that.
Yeah, and apparently that's what caused the injury. He slammed his hand after the outing and hurt his right hand. So this is the first postseason at bat for Nick Maton, just put on the World Series roster before Game 1. Fastball from Montero for strike 1.
Boy, that's a tremendous fastball right there. That's kind of the pitch that Greg Maddux brought into vogue late 80s, early 90s. That two-seam front door, two-seamer with a lot of run, starts in off the plate, catches that inside corner.
Hey, Greg was throwing in 92. Montero's 97.
Hey, let's go back to the ground ball to Pena. This ball hit. Look at it. Takes a peek at third. He's thinking, should I? Nah. We'll get that sure out over at first base. A smart move.
really smart. The rookie shortstop. Maton, liner to third, caught by Bregman for out number 3. Well, our game summary, 5-1 Astros as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Zach Wheeler just wasn't quite as sharp as he usually is. Valdez was outstanding. Pitched like an ace, the lefty, and Alex Bregman's 2-run home run opened this game up in the 5th.
Yeah, the story, Valdez, 9 strikeouts, 6 1/3 of 1-run baseball. He was terrific, 3 walks, but he kept the Phillies in check up until the 7th inning.
Changes for the Phillies. Brandon Marsh comes in after they use the pinch hitter for their center fielder Vierling. So Maton hit. Now Marsh plays defense, and Connor Brogdon, the right-hander, will make his World Series debut on the mound for Philadelphia.
Another guy making his debut in the World Series, maybe looked on to get some outs later on in the series. Not one of the high leverage guys, but a guy that Rob Thompson may lean on as we get back to Philadelphia for games 3, 4, and 5.
Well, I think it's a good point you've made tonight a couple times about how you can use a game like this even if you're behind. Get some World Series experience for some of your young guys so that when you need them in a different kind of situation later in the series, it's not their first time on a World Series mound. Well, Jose Altuve has been a big part of the Astros lead here. The top of the order has performed like you would expect. 5 for 11, 1 through 4. And almost all of the damage for the Astros. Altuve swings and misses through the first pitch breaking ball from Brogdon. 2 for 3. Altuve including the double on the very first pitch of the game from Zach Wheeler. And that ultimately is probably it. Bregman's home run was huge, but this game's going to be remembered for the 3 straight doubles to start the game on the first 4 pitches from Wheeler.
Yeah, and Wheeler had been so good all year getting out of the gate in the first inning. You know, a lot of starters struggle in that first inning. It hadn't been the case most of the season. Zach Wheeler throwing a lot of zeros up there in that first inning, but the Astros jumped on him. 7 pitches, 3 doubles, and 2 runs were in, and the horse was out of the barn for the Astros.
0-2 Brogdon to Altuve. Stays alive. Brogdon's a guy who's had some success against both righties and lefties. So for later in the series, if the Phillies are in a spot where, let's say, Ranger Suarez is starting a game, so they have Alvarado, maybe Brad Hand, who's struggled, Brogdon could be a guy who gets used in a spot where you need to get a lefty.
Hey, if you're a manager, you're always looking for a guy that something might pop, and you might take a look and say, hey, we like the way the ball is coming out of his hand, the reaction, the breaking ball, it's good, it's sharp.
Altuve line drive base hit. And Jose Altuve has broken out here tonight, his 3rd hit of the game. Maybe the best news of all for the Astros.
Well, he's just too good of a player, Dave. He is what he is. He's been a great player in the month of October. He's been rock steady as an Astro his entire career. He's a tremendous bad ball hitter, and sometimes that gets him into some trouble. You see, Realmuto wants that ball up, and it's bullseye right where he wants it. There aren't too many guys that can get on top of a ball that's neck high. Dusty Baker told us that before the game. He just feels that Altuve knows that he can get a bat and a barrel to just about anything, and sometimes that's the demise of Altuve.
But now Pena. Altuve in the regular season finale, and it was right here in this park, and it was this matchup, interleague series to end the year, Phillies and Astros, which is so strange in a lot of ways. Altuve had 3 hits in that game. Who would have thought that he would have struggled the way he has for most of the playoffs up until now?
You know, the one thing that it makes it a little bit more difficult when you get into postseason play too, you start seeing much better pitching. You're not seeing the 3rd and 4th options out of the bullpen. You're not seeing 4 and 5 starters. You're seeing guys that are on heightened alert when they're on the mound. You're seeing 1s and 2s. You don't see very many 4s and 5s in starting rotation.
Pena showed a bunt look. I'm not sure whether that was with any real intent or not. Big opening on the right side with Hoskins holding Altuve at first. Pena went after that breaking ball off the plate. It's 1-1.
Yeah, pretty good breaking ball right there.
Maybe that's the changeup. He will throw right on right changeups. It's a good pitch for Connor Brogdon. Hard hit, foul. I haven't seen many smiles from Jose Altuve over the last couple weeks.
It's just hard to keep a guy like this guy down. I know it becomes more difficult because you see better pitching in the postseason, but he's a slasher. He's never been a guy that's going to take a whole lot of pitches. He can be his own worst enemy because he chases so many pitches out of the strike zone, but he's so dangerous when he's hot because he's nearly impossible to pitch to.
Connor Brogdon, Altuve runs, pitch taken outside, Real Muto, the tag, got him. What a tag by Segura again. Altuve wants the Astros to take a look. Real Muto so lightning fast. I don't think they're going to challenge JT Real Muto. Nobody does it like this guy does.
That looked like another terrific jump there by Altuve. And sitting up here at our vantage point, he's got a couple of steps, and this catch and throw on the tag by Segura. Tremendous.
And that took a great play on both ends.
Segura did such a good job of taking that glove and putting it down right in front of the base. Just letting Altuve slide right into the glove.
Pena to right center field. Marsh out there now. 2 down.
You know, we showed this graphic last night, Dave, and there's a reason. Look at Real Muto. Look at that pop time, 1.82. The best in Major League Baseball right now, minimum 10 attempts.
He's right near the top in the speed of his transfer, and then he's right near the top in the strength of his arm and how hard he throws the ball to second. And he put it together, and really, there's nobody close.
Look how athletic he is. He just a catch and throw across his body. Give a lot of credit there to Gene Segura, too. He was almost on the shortstop side of second base and allowed that ball to tail and didn't go stabbing at it. Let the ball travel and catch it on the bag.
Jordan Alvarez, big cut. Segura, he might be in that Javi Baez category of great taggers.
You know, that's not an easy thing to do when you're a middle infielder. You've got a runner coming in and try to just let that ball travel as long as you can. The longer you can just let that ball get to second base, catch it, and drop that tag right down on the bag.
That's a strike to Alvarez. 0-2. Phillies in the 8th have the 9-1-2 spots due up. This was last night. Altuve again got a really good break, but that combo of Real Muto and the great tag by Segura, and by, I mean, a fraction of an inch.
You know, allowing that ball to travel a long way.
Two and two. It's you got to be perfect, and then maybe even then a little lucky against the Phillies if you want to run. Alvarez goes down swinging. Good changeup from Connor Brogdon. So the hit, but the caught stealing. No runs for the Astros. We go to the 8th inning. Schwarber and Hoskins looming. It's 5-1 Houston. Dave Fleming, Dan Plesac here from Houston, where the Astros trying to even this series at 1 game apiece. The Phillies came from 5-0 behind in game 1, and shocked the Astros and their fans. They're trying to do it again here tonight, but getting late in this game. They're down to their final 6 outs. Jose Altuve's bat has come to life. That's a big part of the story for the Astros tonight.
He really has, Dave. 3 base hits. Started the game off with a double down the left field line. He's hit 3 balls and he's barreled each one of the 3 up, and you have to really like that. Kyle Tucker hit a couple of home runs last night. So maybe this offense for the Astros, some of those go-to guys are going to start to go.
Bryson Stott will be the pinch hitter, the rookie shortstop for the 9th place hitter, and Mundo Sosa against Montero stays in. He only needed 5 pitches to get 2 outs last inning. Montero right there for strike 1. He's been the Astros workhorse. He led the team in appearances in the regular season. This is the 9th playoff game for the Astros this year. He's pitched in 8 of them. So typically, if the Astros are going to play in the playoffs, this guy's getting in the game.
Yeah, it shows you the topsy-turvy world of being a reliever. He's with a couple organizations, the Mets and the Mariners, and he just kind of was floundering around, and then he gets proper to the Astros. They make a couple of mechanical changes, add the four-seamer to the mix, and all of a sudden he's just a guy. Look at it, he just pitches with a lot of, you can see he's with a lot of confidence.
Stott just barely got a piece of it. Maldonado was trying to hang on. He sure doesn't look flustered.
No, he really doesn't at all. He reminds you a little bit of Ranger Suarez of the Phillies. There's no emotion, just kind of stoic, takes it all in, slow heartbeat.
1-2.
Pretty good fastball there too, 98 miles an hour. He can dial it up when he wants to.
Takes it high. 2-2. Hector Neris. You wouldn't call that warming up.
No, that's a guy that's been through it a little bit. He's already been up. He threw a little bit earlier in the 6th inning just as a precaution, and he's ready to go right now, conserving his bullets. It's one of the good things, one of the things you have to learn how to do as a reliever. Learn how to properly warm up. Know how many pitches it takes for you to get loose. As a general rule, what you try to do once you're loose, you need to give that tip of the cap. You try to throw a pitch just as they're throwing a pitch on the field. It's easy to get in that rapid fire. You start, throwing 4 or 5 pitches in between every pitch. Once you're good, once you're hot, slow it down. When the pitcher on the field throws a pitch, go ahead and deliver one out in the bullpen.
Brad Hand warming up for the Phillies. Stott fouls another ball out of play. Man, Bryson Stott last night, he by the box score, he had a pretty quiet game. He had 2 walks, didn't have a hit, but he saw a ton of pitches last night, and here he is doing it again.
Really was kind of the unraveling of Justin Verlander. Verlander had a boat full of pitches he had to try to get through Stott. That kind of set up the rest of that inning for the Phillies.
Pulled that one foul. He's doing it again against Montero. I went up to him today and said, that was pretty impressive. You look like you were comfortable on the big stage. He said, kinda. With a smile on his face. He was feeling the adrenaline and the nerves. Another foul ball. He felt like he missed a few hittable pitches in the midst of fighting off a lot of pitches foul and drawing those 2 walks.
You know what's amazing to me across the board? You look at these 2 teams and all across the big leagues right now. So many young players with all the showcase games and games. There's just so much more visibility for younger players at the high school level, college level. So many games on TV. They're just so more properly equipped to handle all of this.
2-2.
You almost feel like, I know you cover the Giants during the regular season. You almost feel like you know your minor league players before they get called up, what they throw, what they hit, what they can do, what they can't do. There's just so much information, not only about the players, but their road to getting where they were signed, and the bat speed and the running speed and the barrel skills.
6 foul balls, 10 pitches total. Montero trying to put this guy away. 2-2. Inside. To your point, Bryson Stott was telling me today about when he was in high school, going to Dodger Stadium for a showcase event, getting a chance to play in the big ballpark. Great take there.
Yeah, when you get a chance to do that, then when you get a chance at the big league level, you feel like, hey, I played on one of those fields already. May not have been at a major league game, but you get to see what a stadium is with 2 decks.
3-2. That's ball 4. Wow. Bryson Stott draws his 3rd walk in a game +1 plate appearance, and that's a leadoff walk here to start the 8th with the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, I know there's one guy, a big Philadelphia Phillies fan, a former manager of mine, Larry Boa, right now, that loves that kind of play right there from Stott, right? Knows what his ability is. Phillies are down 4 runs. You know, try to get on base, work some pitches.
That was really impressive from a rookie. 12 pitches and a leadoff walk when you're down by 4 as a pinch hitter, and you got your big boys coming up, including this guy, Kyle Schwarber. Off the inside.
You know, you see this quite often with a reliever when you come in to finish off an inning. You get 2/3 of an inning into that 7th inning, and you sit down, and you kind of lose that momentum. It's hard to recreate that when you come out. You try to take your warm-up pitches and throw the last 3 or 4 like it's the first hitter. But there's just something about that adrenaline rush when you come in a big spot, you get a couple of big outs, and you sit down, and you got to get it going again. It's not an easy thing to do.
Kyle Schwarber, who hit 36 of his 46 home runs in the regular season against righties, has a single and a walk in this game. Been on base twice. Off the inside. 2-0.
Yeah, that's another pretty good frame job there by Maldonado. A pitch that you hear the crowd reaction like, oh, that's a really close pitch. You take a look at it right here, you can see that it's off the plate, and he tries to bring it back in. A couple of balls off the inside part of the plate, but Maldonado does a great job of presenting it as a strike.
Schwarber, the home run cut on the 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yep, he turned it loose right here. 2 balls and no strikes. That's not the single to left field swing. That's trying to hit one in the upper deck.
You got Hoskins on deck, then Real Muto, then Bryce Harper. This may be the Phillies' chance right here. 2-1. Right on the corner. Schwarber says, yep, it was. 2-2.
Boy, that's a really good pitch, and those are tough pitches to make, Dave, when you're 2 balls and 1 strike, and you've got a guy up with a lot of power. There's the conductor of the train. He's rooting for a big ground ball or a strikeout. You see the 2-seam fastball. Look at this tailing action. Catches that inside corner, and Schwarber knew it.
2-2. Schwarber pops it up behind home plate. Maldonado is going to watch it sail back into the seats. And gets a chance to show off the Mohawk. Or whatever that is.
Tell you what, he does such a great job too with these Astro pitchers. They love throwing to him. Great receiver. What I like about him, he gives a nice target right off the get-go, and Dusty Baker just thinks the world of him as a signal caller. Gives a great target. He doesn't move around a lot behind home plate. As a pitcher, when you pick up the sign, you see that glove, and he gives you a great target.
2-2. Schwarber, deep drive down the right field line. Hooking, it is a fair ball and gone. Kyle Schwarber was waiting for the call, and James Hoy said fair ball. A monstrous home run from Schwarber, and it's 5-3. And I'm sure the Astros are going to ask for this to get looked at.
Well, when he hits him a long way. If you don't believe it, ask Yu Darvish in that series against the Padres. This was a moonshot.
Now the fans are convinced it was foul, and I think Kyle Schwarber is thinking the same thing. And now the umpires on the field get together, talk about it, and call it foul. So Rob Thompson's going to come out. And I imagine ultimately this is going to go to a replay review. I think that's a foul ball.
Yeah, it's a foul ball. When you see the ball go across, it doesn't disappear behind that foul pole.
We have overturned the call to a foul ball. It is a crew chief review of the foul ball.
Okay, so the call on the field is a foul ball. And these boundary style calls, you don't have to use your challenge, although at this point in the game it's not a big point.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy one, Dave. Watch the flight of the ball. The ball never goes behind the foul pole. Wishful thinking if you're the Phillies and Kyle Schwarber.
It was confirmed a foul ball.
All right. And we thought so, but then the call was fair initially. So instead of a 2-run homer to make it a 2-run game, Kyle Schwarber still in the batter's box. A very long, loud foul. Deep breath, trying to do it again. Two. Schwarber, did he do it again? Kyle Tucker back at the wall, and it is caught at the wall by Tucker. He almost did.
Boy, talk about a game of inches, right? He comes within a couple of feet of hitting a 2-run homer. That's a foul ball. On the very next pitch, he comes within a couple of feet of hitting it right over Kyle Tucker's head.
Wow. He didn't think he got it at first, I don't believe. But it got real close.
I tell you what, Tucker does a great job there. We can get another look at that. When he goes back to the wall, he feels where the wall is with his gloves, so he doesn't get too close to the wall that would inhibit him from reaching up or having to jump up in the seats. A terrific play.
2 collective exhales from 42,000 Astros fans after that at bat from Kyle Schwarber. That's ball 1 to Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, this is another look at it right here. Watch Tucker. He feels for the wall with his glove, so he has an idea where he's at. And he knows now not to get too close to the wall in case he has to jump. And look at the reaction in Philadelphia. Now that says it all, right? Oh, to be a passionate fan of your favorite team.
The 1-0. Big swing by Hoskins. It's the beauty of playoff baseball where every single pitch means so much. Phillies got on the board in the 7th, trying to get closer here in the 8th. That's a strike right at the knees, 1-2.
Yeah, really good breaking ball there from Montero. He's tried to use that fastball. He was trying to run it in on Schwarber. Sitting in the driver's seat, 1 ball, 2 strike on a guy, Hoskins, that will expand the strike zone. A couple of ways you can go. You can try to go up in the zone with that fastball. Maybe throw that breaking ball down and away.
Hoskins has a walk and a hit. He's been on base 2 out of 3 times tonight. You got Real Muto on deck. The 1-2. Hoskins strikes out swinging. 97-mile-an-hour fastball 2 down.
Yeah, he threw some fastballs to Schwarber that were too seamed and had some run back in. This one was 97 with a little cut action. Terrific pitch. You're kind of in swing mode. If you're protective, if you're Hoskins, boy, that's a really well located 2-strike fastball. You see Hoskins, he's looking for it, but the ball just keeps going away, tracking away from him. Trying to ask the on-plate umpire, was that a strike or not?
I've also been sharing some info with JT Realmuto as he went back to the dugout. Realmuto would like to keep the rally going, give Bryce Harper a chance here in the 8th. Up the middle, on the ground, Pena has it, the backhand flip, and Altuve wasn't looking. So Stock's going to go to third. Altuve was ducking to get out of the way of a throw to first, and Pena was flipping to second, thinking Altuve was going to be there.
Sets the stage for Bryce Harper. You don't see that very often with this Astros team, a rock solid defensive team. Playing pretty much straight up. Pena goes up the middle. He's assuming that Altuve would be at second base. You called it, Dave. Altuve ducking. Nowhere in the vicinity of second base. Pena goes a long way to range for this one.
And Pena was so fooled by Altuve, he flipped it to Altuve even though he was 10 feet from the bag.
Yeah, even if Jose was looking at that one, there's no way he would have been able to catch that and get over to second base in time.
So now you get Bryce Harper at the plate, where one swing could make this a 1-run game. 2 on, 2 out. Way off the inside, ball 1. And Montero's pitch count continues to climb. He's thrown 30 pitches tonight.
Yeah, this is what's so difficult about managing in 2022. You've got a lefty and Will Smith in the bullpen, but with that 3-batter minimum, you run the risk. You bring him in here to get a lefty and he doesn't get it, and you've got to go through the teeth of a couple of righties.
0 for 3, Bryce Harper, including hitting into a big double play back in the 6th. Having a great playoffs. Harper takes a ball. The one thing about that is, though, with 2 outs, a lot of managers will bring in that lefty, figuring, okay, if he gets him, then you can make a pitching change for the 9th inning. The 3-batter minimum rule gets wiped out if you get the final out of an inning. But not going to Will Smith. Will Smith has never gotten up in that Astros bullpen. 2-0. Harper, big swing and miss.
Yeah, I think we were looking through the packet the other day, and I think Harper is about 2 for 14 off of Will Smith. He's pretty much had his number.
It is the most pitches that Rafael Montero has thrown in a game all year. Game 2 of the World Series. Astros need a win to even the series at 1 game apiece. 2-1. Harper, fly ball, shallow right. Tucker sprinting in, and he will make the catch with Pena right next to him. And Pena actually is the guy who came away with the ball. So Pena caught it in that triangle, and all's well that ends well for the Astros. Well, that was a dramatic inning for an inning where the Phillies did not score. Schwarber hit the foul ball home run. Came oh so close up against the wall. Pena flipped to nobody. And then the pop-up finally handled to retire the side. Action-packed game 2 here from Minute Maid Park in Houston, and a game that, even though the scoreboard says 5-1, these last couple innings has not really felt like that. Bryson Stott remains in the game to play shortstop after reaching base as a pinch hitter in the top of the 7th, in the top of the 8th rather. Now bottom of the 8th, Brad Hand takes over for the first time in this series. The left-hander against the Astros, trying to keep this a 5-1 game and give the Phillies some kind of shot in the 9th inning.
Yeah, I think this is a very important piece as the series goes on. Brad Hand, Ranger Suarez are going to be relegated back to that starting rotation. So you're going to have Jose Alvarado, a lefty in that bullpen, and Brad Hand may be called upon later on in this series to get a couple of lefties out. They'd like to get him going. He hasn't been throwing the ball particularly well. He's kind of outside of that circle of trust right now for Rob Thompson. They'd like to see him get going again because he could be a weapon for them for the left side.
This guy's had a great career, has pitched in a lot of big games, but just hasn't finished this year at his best. Ahead of Bregman 0-2. Fouled away. Bregman's home run, really big moment in this game, goes without saying. It was 3-0 and then one swing. It was 5-0. His third home run of the playoffs, 405 feet up over that 25-foot high wall. Alex Bregman, like Jose Altuve, I mean, he's played so many playoff games for a guy who's still, I mean, he's still, you could consider Alex a young player. He's climbed up the list of a lot of all-time baseball playoff categories. Another foul ball out.
Yeah, he really struggled last year in the World Series, but he had some injuries. He had some lower leg injuries that were bothering him. He had an injury to his hand that he had surgery on in the offseason, and just a completely different looking hitter right now. When he's getting to that fastball in, he's awfully dangerous, particularly in this ballpark here with the Crawford box seats in left field. Was able to turn on that fastball that was supposed to be in from Zach Wheeler. Didn't quite get it in.
1-2. Bregman strikes out swinging. Nice slider from Brad Hand.
To me, this is a pretty important out right now. If you're Rob Thompson, you're looking forward to the rest of this series. You'd like to see some left on left. Brad Hand's been throwing the ball pretty well against righties. He's had some difficulties with lefties, particularly locating that curveball down and away, and that's a pitch that he really needs. He's not overpowering, but his splits right now have been a little bit better against righties than lefties.
So you're right. Good test here for Brad Hand against one of the very best left-handed hitters, Kyle Tucker.
Back to that series against the Padres. Was able to get ahead of Jake Cronenworth, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and then centered him in the back with a curveball. Led to a big inning for the Padres.
On the ground to first. That's a fair ball. Hoskins to the bag. So nice job by Hand to get Tucker. And it is remarkable the difference in regular season wins between these two teams in the divisional era. This is the biggest difference we've ever had in a World Series matchup. 106 wins for Houston, 87 for the Phillies. It's the second biggest gap in the history of the game. You got to go all the way back to 1906, the Cubs and the White Sox. And yet you watch these first 2 games. I mean, this Phillies team does not look like an 87 win team.
Now it's a different team, Dave. Their bullpen is much improved. They've got 2 starting pitchers. Last night, Aaron Nola wasn't as sharp as he's been, and Zach Wheeler wasn't particularly sharp tonight, but they score some runs. They're catching the ball a lot better. They've got 2 guys in Alvarado and Seranthony Dominguez they can count on in that bullpen. They have a never say die attitude. They hit home runs. They're a good team right now.
Astros have one of the great late inning relievers in the game, Ryan Presley, who's getting ready for the 9th inning. But especially in Philadelphia, it's going to be interesting to see. Game 3 on Monday. The Phillies have clearly gotten a boost in these playoffs playing in front of their home fans.
Yeah, it definitely is. Listen, Dave, I'm so looking forward to that Monday. Everybody that I've talked to, I wasn't able to go to any of those games against the Padres, but they said they called it the bedlam at the bank. Looking forward to it Monday.
1-2. Gurriel to left. Schwarber in front of the warning track for out number 3. That was a good job by Brad Hand. May have earned him some more work later in this series. Last chance for the Phillies against the closer. The lights are going down here at Minute Maid. We go to the 9th in game 2. It's 5-1 Astros. Well, depending on which team you're a fan of, that's either a Phillies moon or an Astros moon. High over Houston, Texas. Game 2 of this 2022 World Series. The Astros 3 outs away from evening the series at 1 game apiece. Back inside Minute Maid Park, some defensive changes. Chas McCormick shifts over to left to take the place of Yordan Alvarez. Mauricio Dubon, we see him in the World Series for the first time. He comes in to play center field. And the closer, even though it's not technically a save situation, Ryan Presley, who in his playoff career has just been awesome. Pitching the 9th here for the Astros.
And one of the things he can do better than anybody on this Astros staff, he can spin it. Really good curveball. He'll throw it any time in the count. Pretty sneaky fastball too, and a good one there. Strike 1 to Castellanos.
And when you say he can spin it better than anybody, when you're on the same staff as Framber Valdez, you're saying something.
Yeah, he can really spin it, Dave. Not only that, he gets a little bit of a friendly call right there. It's good, hard, late movement in a tight rotation.
Castellanos takes that one. I'm sure Castellanos is thinking, this guy's good enough. He doesn't need any help. Castellanos hit the double in the 7th. And then came around and scored the only run of the game so far for the Phillies. They've had some chances and they've come close. Another low strike. It's 1-2.
Yeah, the importance of this game. This is a game during the regular season. If Brian Presley hadn't worked in a couple of days, you probably wouldn't see him in a 4-run lead. Pretty good pitch. I know Castellanos didn't like it, but this one was a strike about knee level. Forget about the save rule. 3-run lead or less to start an inning at Dusty Baker. This is must. He's got to win this game.
Oh, no question. No doubt Presley was coming in. Bounces the curveball in front of home plate. Castellanos just 1 for 11 all time against Ryan Presley. Alec Bohm and Gene Segura also due up here in the 9th for the Phillies. I would think the rallying cry for the Phillies would be somehow, some way, see if we can get back to the top of the lineup.
Well, and another thing, if you're Phillies right now, you're getting another part of the lineup to get a look at Presley back-to-back days, so they see him in at least games. So we know we're at least going to games 3, 4, and 5. At least 2 more games. You're going to get a chance to see him, and anytime you get a look, you kind of store that in your memory bank.
Bohm on deck. 2-2 to Castellanos. He goes down swinging. Change up, got him.
Yeah, and a really good pitch. Has that in his bag of tricks to go along with being able to spin the ball. It's more like a split finger, a split change. It's not that conventional circle changeup that he throws, and it's a good one. You can see the grip on it right there. Look at the rotation.
So 1 out. Astros 2 outs away from evening the series. Here's Bohm, 0 for 2. Right on the inside, strike 1.
Well, you can see why this Astros bullpen is so good. You've got a guy in Presley that can spin it. Has a great changeup, and he throws 95, so he can get it up there with enough velo. That's one of the keys. You can have a good split, a good changeup, but if you don't have the fastball to go along with it, they all kind of blend together.
In the dirt. Framber Valdez, great start, has put the Astros in position to get their first win of this World Series. Bohm shoots one out to the gap in left center field, and it's going to be off the wall. Dubon will play the carom and throw it back in towards second. A little bit late. Bohm stays on the bag. Altuve wants the Astros actually to take a look at it, but it's a one-out double for Alec Bohm.
Yeah, this is what Dusty Baker was telling us in the meetings. Bohm with those long arms likes to get those arms extended. Astros did a pretty good job most of the night crowding him, keeping the ball in. This one out over the plate. Here he is again, hustling out of the box. See, look at the long arms and levers. He's able to take that ball that's on the outer third and drive it.
Gene Segura, he takes a strike. I think Segura's at bats have looked a lot better tonight. Astros might be feeling like they got Jose Altuve back. Maybe the Phillies are feeling the same way about Segura. Hard hit single and then a booming sacrifice fly. Did he hold up? Yes. Appeal denied. It's 1-1.
You know, you go back and you look at this. The Phillies had a couple of chances, had a couple runners on, and Harper bounced into that 4-6-3 double play in the 6th inning, and they had a shot in the 8th. With Harper coming up in a big spot, and he hit the pop up to second base.
One pitch. Segura fouls it away. And the Phillies have had some chances with their best hitters up there. They had the Schwarber at bat where they were oh so close to getting right back in the game. Not a ton of actual at bats with runners in scoring position tonight on either side. You got Brandon Marsh, who has not had an at bat tonight, waiting on deck. Two and two.
It almost seems like when Gene Segura gets 2 strikes, all of a sudden he becomes a different hitter, right? Spreads out a little bit more. Thinking more right field contact.
Segura to right field. Kyle Tucker, lots of room out there. Out number 2. Phillies are down to their final out in game 2. Trying to keep this game going, the center fielder Brandon Marsh, who had a double and scored a run in game 1. He'll be the starting center fielder against right-handed pitching. First at bat of this game. Bohm at second, 2 down. Curveball for a ball. Decent numbers against right-handers. A lot of the reason why he's playing these days for the Phillies is because he's been such an upgrade defensively in center field. But he can swing the bat a little bit. 1-0. Pulls that one hard, and it gets through Gurriel. Down the first base line. That's going to score Bohm. It'll send Marsh to second. And the Phillies are not done. Yuli Gurriel, normally so sure-handed, couldn't handle it.
Be interesting how the official scores that when that's a ball. Normally that Gurriel gobbles up. He's one of the best defensive first basemen in either league. He's there in plenty of time, and he just kind of whiffed on it.
Yeah, that's got to be an error. Well, now you got Bryson Stott, the king of the long at bat, who's been taking some walks in these 2 games. And if he gets on, then Kyle Schwarber comes up as the tying run.
see this ball. He almost closes the glove a little bit too soon. That's a play 9 times out of 10. He'll have that ball in his back pocket. Phillies catch a break.
Phillies still alive. Bryson Stott, 12 pitch plate appearance for a walk his last time up. And you figure Presley's got to come after him. A first pitch curveball for strike 1. There is no way the Astros want anything to do with the guy who's on deck. The National League home run leader, who almost hit 2 of them in his last at bat, would be the tying run. The 1-strike pitch. Stott on the ground. Altuve's got it, and he throws out Stott to end the ball game. The Astros with a lot of pressure on this team to win game 2 and make sure they got the split at home. They do just that. They beat the Phillies 5-2.
Yeah, really, Framber Valdez, he was the star of the game for the Astros. 6 1/3 into the 7th inning, 1 run allowed, 9 strikeouts. Kept this powerful Phillies lineup off check all night.
Well, 26 of the last 43, not overwhelming. And what does that tell you? I mean, it's a lot, but it's not convincing. It tells you we got a wide open World Series.
Especially after game 1, I thought Rob Thompson managed that game like he had to win that game, because you don't know what's going to happen in game 2. You have arguably your best starter and Zach Wheeler going. Wasn't particularly sharp tonight in game 2. I think if you're a Phillies fan right now, you feel really good about going to the bank on Monday, getting a split out of these 2 games.
I think both teams can feel good. Phillies got the split. The Astros, who had not played well in the last several World Series here at home, get a much needed home win. Framber Valdez pitched like one of the great pitchers in the game. So I think both teams in their own way can feel pretty good getting on that airplane.
Yeah, and a lot of pressure on Framber Valdez. Last year he wasn't particularly good in the World Series. Justin Verlander, subpar performance, blew a 5-0 lead. This was a game that the Astros had to win. They did win, and Framber came up big.
Huge, in fact. So Astros fans have something to celebrate tonight, and we are staring at what has a chance to be a heck of a World Series. Dramatics in both of the 2 games here in Houston. The Phillies came from behind in game 1. They couldn't quite match that in game 2. The Astros win 5-2 to even this series at 1 game apiece. For Dan Plesac and our entire crew, Dave Fleming saying goodnight here from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Thanks for watching Major League Baseball International special presentation of the 2022 World Series.